line on the same thing.
It's just, it's not having a morbid sensibility. I will say that. It's just more so like, I've seen this movie before. I know how it plays out.
It's not always morbid in that case, like, oh, what's the point? It's just like, is that like, so SmackDown last night, I thought had some good moments. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to AOP and Karrion Cross. I'm looking forward to the Fatal 4-Way a little bit because it'll be something different. Like Roman Reigns he has to wrestle 3 guys now instead of just one, so that saves us a bunch of cravat locks as we spoke about yesterday. So, but that was the thing. As we were recording, I'm like, I bet this match might turn into a Fatal 4-Way. Not just to be like, I'm a great predictor, but like if they were smart, they would like. We haven't had a multi-man match like that for Roman Reigns since the triple threat match at Mania. It's like he has been having these one-on-one matches, and it's like, let's switch it up a bit. And like they don't want to put Randy Orton out right away. They don't want to put AJ Styles out right away. How funny is it that we're getting the same like emo AJ Styles that we got in TNA with the dern like yeah.
And they video department uploaded that ASAP, right?
Yep, I got it on my watch later. That full storyline, the lone wolf, no one, a phenomenal one.
And as soon as Samoa Joe won the title, what did they do? Look at when Samoa Joe first won the heavyweight title. I respected them.
Yeah, but that's the thing, as we always spoke with TNA, is like they have a great archive. They have a great history for the first 8 years. After that's a little.
Yeah, you don't really need to run that back.
And I mean, 8 years starting in 04, not the 2000, not the Asylum years. I know you're a mark for the Asylum years, but let's get that shit out of there.
The 04, 03.
No, the 02 to 04. When they get to Orlando in the 6-sided ring, that's the TNA that we have to officially recognize, not the Asylum in Tennessee, the original ring.
No. It started dropping around that time. I'll say 08 is when it lost its shine, so to speak, TNA. And that's around the time that they start going there. I mean, it was Dixie Carter. She was on screen a lot. Like, after the main event Mafia, for sure, it was just like, all right, this is the dark side.
Because main event Mafia is 09. And that was when they did the Samoa Joe helped Kurt Angle. That's, again, like, who books this shit? Oh, yeah, Vince Russo.
Right. The guy that headbutted you, the guy that y'all had that fucking K1 kickboxing match.
Hey, I love that match.
In the cage. I do, too, but it was just, like, barefooted.
Yeah,
Kurt Angle.
It was MMA rules, basically. Yeah, him being an MMA mark. But, god damn, we got the size of that one.
Yeah, you got to drink your water, beloved.
But we're back today to talk about the most anticipated movies of 2024. What's your official favorite movie of 2023? You didn't tell me. I thought it was Spider-Verse, but I wasn't really sure.
It's this one. Definitely got to get a new intro.
Yeah. Well, it works for it. It just works.
No, I'm making that. We are totally two different people from when that happened. All that stuff is probably from like about 2 years ago. We're two totally different people.
Yeah, almost a year.
Okay. Two different spaces. I agree, different. What Kendrick said.
Oh my. Well, he says a lot of things.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Kendrick Lamar. I am Banks Lamar.
But you already know Banks versus Davis. We recorded yesterday, so if you missed that, check it out. We talked a lot about wrestling today. We're talking a lot about movies, like I just asked Banks. So what was your official favorite movie of last year?
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Okay, that was because I have it in my letterbox top 10. That was 4th on my list.
Yeah, I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3 6 times.
See, that's the thing. On my list, my top 10, I didn't rewatch a single movie. This is all just one-time viewings last year. The only movie I saw twice that was a 2020 release was Quantumania. That's the only movie I saw multiple times because I saw it by myself, and then Kiki and I saw it on a date together. So that's the only movie I've seen multiple times in 2023.
I forgot that movie even existed. No lie.
You
and
can't.
It's not me. I forgot.
It was so early in the year.
And then it wasn't a bad movie. I just forgot. Like that's what's happening with these Marvel movies again. It's just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I know you're right about that. But normally when we started recording, we were always looking forward to what's coming out next in movies. And the thing about this year is that the writers and actors strike kind of put a dent in a lot of stuff that was either about to start production or halfway through production. So certain movies have been pushed out of the 2024 calendar slate. Famously, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2, which I just found this out recently. They're not calling it Dead Reckoning Part 2 anymore. They're going to give it a new title, which is Dumb as Fuck.
What's the title?
They haven't said it yet.
Night of Reckoning?
No.
The old man does more stunts reckoning?
It'll be something that just contradicts what they did in this whole first movie, because the irony of Dead Reckoning Part 1 is that it legit is the same movie as Across the Spider-Verse. They're the exact same movie, which is not a bad thing, just in terms of like, oh yeah, you had so much movie to tell. This one's really good for what it is, but oh, another one still has to come out for it to be complete. And that's what's so funny to me. And that one, again, due to the strikes, the production issues that they were having, because again, like Marvel had their visual effects issues, Spider-Verse had their animation issues in terms of being overworked and all that, which again, ain't that some shit. Nothing's perfect in Hollywood.
No, it never is. It's all parts, man.
Oh no, just in terms of how people were saying, see, look what Marvel does to their workers. They pixel fuck them, and then like 2 months later, Across the Spider-Verse has the same accusations, and it's just like, oh, again, what do they say? Like, I forget what's the saying about when you find out. Well, it's like, I don't want to say the Chappelle joke about like when you find out like chocolate ice cream did that, but it's the same. It's along the lines of that. Like something pure is also evil, but it did so good. But can you think of a movie that you didn't see last year that you wanted to see?
I think I saw everything. I had a lot of time on my hands for the most part during the summer. I think I saw everything. I don't recall anything that I didn't want to see that I did, haven't got around to. I know I would just watch Oppenheimer in November, even though that came out in July.
Yeah,
but
that was.
Otherwise than that, I saw kind of everything like when it first came out.
Well, I say this because, like I said,
Iron Claw. I haven't seen Iron Claw yet.
Yeah, and the December releases are tough. Like I was just going to bring up Ferrari. That's the same thing. It came out right at the end of the year. $20 million on a $95 million budget. Just
it's bad. We talked about it multiple times. Y'all go back and check them episodes. They recent episodes is just nobody making money, man.
It's not just the like how no movie makes money these days. It's just Michael Mann like Martin Scorsese, because Killers of the Flower Moon made no money either. It's these old auteurs command such a high budget that they have no wiggle room outside of it. And the studios are like, well, if they made a success 20 years ago, maybe they can still make a success today. And like I said, Killers of the Flower Moon will be on streaming next week. So that's one movie I didn't see last year that I wanted to see, because I was not going to sit 3.5 hours in the theater after surviving Oppenheimer. I was not going to try to do that with 30 more minutes.
Yeah, that's another one too. We talked about that on yesterday's episode, people. Yeah, so it's just, I got to watch that as well, because again, 3.5 hours in the theater, no. At home, fine, because I got to take a break.
Yeah, and that's all it is just to get up, get something to eat real quick, go to the bathroom real quick. Because even watching something like The Irishman, which I think I legit took a nap halfway through, I took a nap before I started watching it. I went home from work early that day, took a nap, and then watched it. And I was like,
when it first
Thankfully, I
came
was
out.
well rested. Yeah, when it dropped that Thursday on Netflix. Yeah, or
Bro,
Wednesday.
when that first came out, I was drunk when that first came out.
I'm
That
drunk. I'm
and
drunk right now.
drunk, bro. But I got through it. I stayed awake for some reason. Like the movie that really had me like go to sleep was Black Klansman. I was drunk watching that when that first came out, bro.
Wow.
I could not stay awake, and I had to go to a party that night too.
Okay.
Like I remember that vividly.
I didn't see Black Klansman until it was on HBO. The what for the app release, and I watched. I'm like, man, this is a really good movie. I didn't expect that. Not to say like what a shock, but I'm like, I really enjoyed that movie until like the end. It gets a little like too much with the real life footage, but that's always the Spike Lee thing of he likes to incorporate the real with the story he's telling. But I enjoy that. But yeah, just this is why 2020, as we always say, was in the 2021 because the HBO day and date was such a success for guys like us because we could watch the Suicide Squad at home and then rewatch it again a week later if we wanted to. But that effectively killed Warner Brothers business, and the guy who did that came up with that got fired.
Yeah.
So so we're back to movies being in theaters, and the movies that we're going to be talking about kind of have that same like, oh, I wish this is a movie that would be coming home. Like we talked about the Acme versus Coyote movie that was supposed to be an HBO Max movie, well, just a Max movie at this point. Mm-hmm. And the reason they shit canned it is because they don't even want to put it on the app because that's still going to cost them money. So they're hoping someone else buys it, as we said yesterday. But these movies purely for streaming services is kind of going down. I do want to see that Beyonce movie a little bit, like as I've been told, it is phenomenal. But it's also Beyonce not just a concert. Yeah, but it's also not.
I heard she directed it.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, just like she did Homecoming.
I might tap in. Okay, I'm gonna tap in and I'll watch Homecoming. I I might have to call myself a name after watching those two movies, but I'll be at home, so can't call myself too much of a name.
But there have been some movies, like I said, that have been pushed to next year. Famously, like I said, the Mission Impossible 8 at this point, Captain America, New World, not New World Order.
Forgot that existed, yo.
Yeah.
And it wrapped up last summer too, and I forgot that existed.
Featuring Seth Rollins.
That's why his back hurt doing bad Marvel movies. That's karma.
You don't know it's bad yet. Don't say it's bad yet.
That's gonna be bad. I'm gonna watch it because it's Anthony Mackie. I mean, that joke still, it's been 3 years, but it's still funny. I did like Captain Falcon and yeah. Did you see speaking of last year, did you see the show Twisted Metal?
No. Hell great no.
Show. No, it's a good show. Even if you don't like a video game, great show.
I never played the game though.
You don't play the game. You don't play no games.
That is true. That is factual. But no, I didn't check it out. I know you checked it out. Again, that show was meant for you, Anthony Mackie, video games, Samoa Joe. It was like the perfect bank show. It was like, but again, it was created by the guys that created the Deadpool movies. So that was bittersweet.
Speaking of 2024, because they just won't let that die.
That's one of my anticipated movies of this year, Deadpool 3.
Right. See, Trucker, no.
But I got I wrote down some key ones and then I'll kind of go over some leftover ones. But let me just bring that up real quick because like I said, we've done this in the past. Just I remember when we talked about the Cinderella movie, and I'm like, they just made Cinderella, and it was from Amazon Prime, and you saw Billy Porter was in it and Camila Cabello was in it, and you're like, what is going on?
Oh, you're talking about the movie? Didn't she just get fired? The star of that
no,
movie?
They're saying the woman who's playing Snow White, they're trying to take her off the movie because she's like a woke advocate or something like that. Yeah, she's.
Y'all see how that turned out from the Scream movie. So you want to get paid, just don't say nothing.
And poor Christopher Landon got to part of the project, and he has directed a number of good horror comedies. He did Scout's Guide versus the Zombie Apocalypse, which is very funny, really good. He did the Happy Death Day movies. I enjoyed those. He did the movie Freaky, which is like Freaky Friday, but with a serial killer. And I would have anticipated his Scream 7, but unfortunately, again, the people running the studio just fucked it up themselves by doing the
And
whole let's not
knowing
get
them,
political.
they still gonna try to put the movie out. I keep trying to tell people,
Yeah.
just because they don't have most of the cast, it's highly weird. They not making no money. They gonna push that movie out.
And when you watch Scream 6, you should just kind of pick a new cast for Scream 7 anyway. If Christopher Landon would come back with a new cast, I would look forward to it, because the story to continue with the same cast of this reboot doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Again, like they're just going to keep being haunted, like Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox are continue to be hunted. Like, let's do something new, something fresh. Like, the thing about Scream is it can be about any group of kids and anyone can be the killer. It doesn't have to have the same people over and over. I think they overrate that a little bit just because of the nostalgia factor.
But how many times can you run that? It's been 20 plus years.
Well, MTV tried to run it with the show, and I don't know anyone who ever talks about that show.
Well, Keeks, you also got to realize too, what happens in Hollywood is nothing ever ends.
So, one of the movies I'm anticipating coming up, it's real soon. I think it's next week officially, or the week after, is The Book of Clarence. This is the movie
next Thursday.
Yeah, the movie with Lakeith Stanfield. I thought it was going to be like a full-on, not parody of like the Bible in a way, but it still looks funny. It looks extremely smart. It's by James Samuel, who did The Harder They Fall, which was a great movie of 2021, the Netflix Western that has a lot of the same cast: Lakeith Stanfield, R.J. Seiler, and James McAvoy's in this, Omar Sy, David Oyelowo. Like, this is a stat cast. And it just looks really good. But like I said, it's coming out relatively soon. Are you looking forward to this movie?
I'm gonna check it out. I remember when they were promoting it, people were under the comments. It was like, "This is blasphemous." I'm like, he's playing a Jesus like figure, but I don't think he's actually Jesus. People.
No, the whole thing is, it's a great story of like someone who thinks, someone who wants to be Jesus. So that's why it's so great. It's like a guy who cons people into thinking he has the same powers that Jesus has. I'm all for that because it's, again, blasphemous in a way, but it's,
it's Joel Osteen.
Yeah, I'm saying it's no different than what the people at the mega churches do these days or have done for years and years.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's an all black cast, again, in the Middle East, which
James McAvoy's black.
No, I'm saying for the people of the Middle East, like, and when it gets to the Romans, that's when it's historically accurate. Like, because let's not forget, these were either black people or brown people back then.
Okay, Kofi Davis. Also, I can talk about the Roman Empire, but I don't want us to get in trouble.
But they're keeping the Jesus reveal as a secret. Either I hope it's someone super famous, or
it's gonna be Jay-Z.
Well, Jay-Z, again, he produces James Samuel's work. He produced The Harder They Fall. He's producing this movie as well. If it was Jay-Z, that would be hilarious as well. Just like,
or Nas, that make it even funnier.
But yeah, I mean, that's the first movie of this year where I'm like, damn, already it's getting started. But, or they don't show it at all. Like, did you watch Air? And they never showed Michael Jordan in Air.
No, you can't. Because he had a conversation with Ben Affleck or Ben.
No, I know, but it was good that
Ben Affleck had a conversation with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan don't want to talk to nobody. He had a conversation for him, and then the last thing he said for the audience too. He said the last thing Michael Jordan said to him, being Ben Affleck, was, "Don't F this up."
Yeah, and Ben Affleck,
he said he was intimidated.
Yeah, well, Ben Affleck messes up movies he's the star of, but not that movies he's making. So
yeah, that was a good movie too. I forgot about that.
It was solid. I think it was a 3.5 star for me.
Let me again, my top two from last year, for going back to that, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and they clone Tyrone.
That's what I'm gonna pick right now. I'm gonna get to it either tomorrow or next week. Yeah.
No, today. I'm telling you. Usually I never tell people that, but I'm telling you, dog.
No, literally after we're done watching this, after we're done recording this, I gotta go watch Wrestle Kingdom finally. So
no, the Ravens and the Steelers play. I'll be watching that instead.
I'm not watching no fucking Steelers.
I'm with you, but yeah, I want to watch this just in case. Russell Wilson, you are now a Steeler, just in case they
Is that everything
lose.
he's doing? You think Mike Tomlin
Yeah,
can save him?
I mean, either that or he gonna play this figure that's in this movie that Jay-Z produced.
I
What if
mean,
he's Jesus?
I bet he auditioned. I bet he
Yeah,
like showed up in costume, ready to go, and they said, this is too
yeah.
much."
Jesus can't be 220, bro, with a perm.
That is, the 220, yeah. He was a frail. What did he say in Talladega Nights? He was a grown man. He had a beard.
5'9", 5'10", but the dude is solid 220.
Let me look who else. Yeah, Tiana Taylor's in this movie.
Oh yeah,
I know
let's
you're
go watch that
sold. I know
tomorrow.
you're
Yeah,
sold.
let's go.
Alfre Woodard.
I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch as well. So again, the two white people,
Really?
they killed it with the two white people. They went James McAvoy and Benedict Cumberbatch.
The most like evil looking ones too.
That's why. That's good. That's good
James
casting.
McAvoy, one of the greatest actors I've ever seen. Yo, Split. I believed everything.
Yeah. Did you read or were aware of the story that James McAvoy did this movie? I think it was, I can't remember if it was called The Sun or something, where he didn't read the script. He improvised based off the other people's lines. And I'm just like, what an asshole. Like,
yeah, he's on his mark. Dude, when you do a movie like Split, I believe you are what you are.
you think he's multiple personalities?
He played it too well. How you do that? It was either going to be him.
Which one did you like
Kanye.
the most? The strict old guy, the woman, or the little kid?
No, the little kid freaked me out. It was him when he turns
You
to the
want to listen
Hulk,
to Kanye West?
the Beast. Yeah, the Beast. When he turned,
Yeah, when he's running up the wall. That was good though. That was some top-notch directing by M. Night.
And then you see the shape he was in. How he went from Professor X, he got no legs, to him
just because the legs don't work doesn't mean the chest don't work. Like,
no, if you ain't, hey,
look at Joe Swanson from Family Guy.
I'm in the gym, all chest, no legs, bro.
Yeah. Again, we're saying too much Kanye. This is gonna turn dark real quick. You mentioned the wife yesterday. You're going. It's going south if we keep going around.
Well, we got to. Nobody else care about him.
Do you care at this point? I don't care.
I mean, I hope he good.
Well, I mean, that's everyone. But it's not true.
Not really. Not really. I don't care about everybody. Some people gonna fuck themselves.
But yeah, this is as soon as I saw Tiana Taylor, I'm like, that's someone else. I'm like, oh yeah, I know you're all in. Newly single Tiana. Yeah, I'm like, I just newly see single Tiana Taylor. Oh, Rob Hardy's directing. I mean, the cinematographer. He was a cinematographer for Mission Impossible Fallout, one of the best shot movies of the last 10 years.
So, oh, okay. No wonder it looks the same. As far as like the
that kind of vibe with it.
Yeah, I don't the coloring and everything. So I understand now. I got an eye for cinematography people, so that's what I look at first, how it looks. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That freaking lens flare too that they had in the trailer. I said, huh.
Well, no, he didn't rip the lens flare for his Fallout because I haven't listened to Chris McQuarrie talk about Dead Reckoning. I gotta pay to hear this podcast. They took it like him and this guy Chris Hewitt. They used to do 2.5-hour podcasts breaking down the Mission Impossible movie of that year, and this guy would ask Chris McQuarrie all the questions relating to the movie, and it was like their best episodes. So for this one, he's making people pay for the episode because I'm like, this movie came out 6 months ago. Where's the episode? And I finally looked up and I'm like, I gotta pay £2.99. So I don't know. Am I paying more or less?
I think that's $1 American.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'll do it and then cancel right after. But come on.
Hey man, I'm seeing a lot of podcasters do that. Like Matt Hoffa do that on YouTube. I'm seeing a lot of people like, if you want this extra content, pay outside of Patreon. I kind of respect it.
It makes sense for that.
Got on there.
Well, it makes sense for the show because it's a movie podcast that talks to a lot of actors or directors for their movies. And this, like I said, it's a spoiler episode. So you can listen to the regular podcast about the movie being spoiled. And then if you want to know little details about the movie, pay the £2.99.
I'll tell you what, if or when we get John Cena on here, oh yeah, that episode, that's going to cost. 16-time champ, $16.
I was like, I thought you were gonna say 16 cents. I'm like,
No, absolutely not, bro. For Cena,
well, he's 15
hey,
time champ, remember? Oh no, he's 16 time. Yeah, because
he's tied for Flair,
yeah,
and that's why everybody keeps saying he
because
needs to
that damn
pass up
reign.
Flair.
Yeah, that damn reign lasted that 1 month.
Yeah, he's not passing up Flair, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody is.
But like I said, James Samuel, this is only his second film, and I'm looking forward to what he does next. I really like The Harder They Fall. So
same.
But after that is Argyle, a movie I cracked the code on from day one. Anyone who listened to any episodes from most of 2022, I don't know if I officially cracked it in 2021 because I don't know if it was his. I think he announced it because John Cena was doing that SummerSlam and said next he's going to go back to London to shoot a movie with Matthew Vaughn. But what I just found out was this movie is rated PG-13, which I'm not too shocked about. Most of Matthew Vaughn's movies have been R-rated after First Class. The Kingsman movies were famously R-rated, and that's because they had a lot of more so language than and the violence to an extent, like blowing people's arms off and heads off in the church scene and all the other stuff. But Matthew Vaughn has been notorious for his, sense of humor, which has been very adult. Like, again, the Kingsman movie, when he goes to rescue the princess, he says, she asked him, like, if you save the world, you can fuck me in the ass. And it's like a real, like, what the fuck? Like, and then he pissed people off.
That's crazy.
He pissed people off with the Kingsman too for having a CGI vagina, but not how you think. Because when you read the headline, you think like a woman had didn't want to show full frontal, so they did CGI pussy lips or something. And it's like, no, it's the inside organ that was CGI'd. Yeah, I'm like, people got mad about that. So if you hear him talk about this, he's trying to make a real family spy movie. He talked about how no one makes big action adventures for families anymore, and he was with his kids during the last couple of years, and they were picking what movies to watch. And he's like, no one makes Romancing the Stone anymore. No one makes this type of movie anymore. I gotta go make a movie like that. And he's funded a lot of his movies himself. That's why we haven't gotten the final third Kingsman in terms of the Colin Firth and the Taron Egerton story. And then, as we talked about yesterday, the Kingsman sequel, in which they fight Adolf Hitler, like
the
prequel sequel. So he has two sequels for them: the original trilogy and then the new potential trilogy. And let's not forget they were supposed to do The Statesman, which was going to be the American version with Halle Berry, Channing Tatum. Instead of doing that, he decided to write a script under a pseudonym and create a whole profile for this fake person. Like I said, I cracked 2 years ago at this point now, and it's insane that people have now just been like, this woman doesn't exist. Why are we getting this fake story for this movie? But I respect it because that's the selling point of the movie, is that the woman that Bryce Dallas Howard is playing is the author of the book. So it's just so meta. He just really went out there to be so creative about it. And I respect, as we talked about yesterday, with people being marks for themselves, everyone in Hollywood is a mark for themselves.
Absolutely.
But I think Matthew Vaughn's more of a shit stirrer than a mark for himself. I think he's one of those guys who's like a mark for himself, but also like taking the piss out of things and making fun of people. And like, if you catch it, then you catch it. But if you're stupid and believe everything, then that's on you. Because that's that British sense of humor as well.
Right.
But it's got Henry Cavill, John Cena, Dua Lipa, Bryan Cranston. Are you excited for this?
So I was about to say that. I've been on record saying like, I don't know how I feel. I seen the new trailer or the new teaser. I'm all in. I think it looks great.
And it was financed by Apple, and Universal is distributing it. So it was supposed to, like we all thought when Apple said they were going to make movies, like, so are we all going to have to pay Apple TV Plus? But they took it the step further. Like, they just want to finance their own movies and have the studios distribute them, which is why Paramount Plus distributed Killers of the Flower Moon, and now it's on Apple TV next week instead of on Paramount Plus. Like, they're doing it the smart way, like Netflix should have done with their original movies, but was too bold and too ignorant to try for themselves. They thought they were going to be able to make movies and create everything, but then they won in the end because they're still getting other studios as movies. So, but again, this is all supposed to be a new trilogy, which will be interesting because this kind of just seemed like it would be a clever one-off. I don't think we'll need multiple of these until we see the movie, but yeah.
You know they're going to make most of them.
Well, that's because the Apple think of like they need their own spy franchise. They need their own something to keep people coming forward. But
exactly.
And again, Henry Cavill said he was shocked by the look that he wanted, that Matthew Vaughn wanted him to have with this weird like Howie Long flat top crew cut combination. It's like, well, John Cena was having that haircut for 15 years.
10 years or so, yeah. Off and on, or he'll get the ball cut.
It's just that his hairline wasn't receding like Henry Cavill's. It was just balding in the back.
Henry Cavill need to run up to $7 productions like Ice Cube did in Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, that's we'll get to that later again. I didn't do my rock slander yesterday. I'm going to do it at the end of today's episode. I
knew it was coming. Pause.
Yeah, I can't just go right into it right away on the first day. I gotta take my time.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta pull up what Davis is talking about. He legit got the Howie Long, bro.
Yeah,
he low key got the Ice Baby.
No. It's really the Howie.
This
Long.
is a white man high top, bro. This is a white man's high top. Look at this. And he got the Widow's Peak too.
Yeah, because he's balding. He's been balding the last eight years. That's why him as Superman was like, oh my god.
That's crazy. He legit got a Widow's Peak, bro.
Yeah. Well, it's a Widow's. CM Punk has a Widow's Peak. This is receding.
Bro, that dude look like the Ice Baby. But yeah. And I'm not wanting to talk about nobody's hairline, but yeah.
But Dune Part 2, which, again, come on. It sells itself. Are you ready for Dune Part 2?
Absolutely. I got to rewatch the first one again.
I already watched it 2 months ago. It's still great. Again, I'm a huge Denis Villeneuve fan. Again, this one has your boy Austin Butler in it as the villain. And him and Timothy Chalamet are going to have a knife-edge death match. Are you excited for that?
How is that my guy?
You love Austin Butler.
No, I said he played Elvis very well, but how is that my guy?
Which means you love him.
County. No, that don't mean nothing. He's from Orange County. I can't rep nobody from Orange County.
The podcast I listened to the other day, the woman that was on it was a casting director, and she was doing the casting for Top Gun Maverick and said he auditioned for the role of Goose's son, the role that Miles Teller got.
Shouldn't have got it. He shouldn't have got it.
And she said I had seen Austin Butler for over 10 years at that point. He was always coming in to audition for me, and I was hoping that this would be the movie for him. And Tom said he's got something, but not for this movie. And then he got Elvis like right after.
It kind of worked out well.
Yeah,
because he became the star in that movie that got Oscar nominated. And what I always say about Miles Teller, other than Whiplash, he ain't got it. But Whiplash is a great movie, phenomenal movie, one of the greatest movies ever. But it ain't because of him.
No, it is because he has to. It's J.K. Simmons slapping the shit out of people, going full Bobby Knight. But Miles Teller is good in Top Gun Maverick, and he's good in Whiplash because he has to be that person who has to be mentored. You know what I mean? Like he's great in that capacity because it is like he plays someone needing guidance or acceptance well. And I don't know why, because outside of movies, he's like the super confident guy. But even that seems kind of like an act. So who really knows? Yeah. And he's from Philly.
He explains a lot. Yeah, but he came straight from 1950s. Like anytime you see him talking in interviews, like dog, you ain't 80 years old. Talk like you 35, yo.
Nah, he's got bro to him. He's got broy energy. But it's I think you and I always like say
he got a good PR agent that's trying to keep him clean. I understand.
Yeah, no, it's that more than anything. He has, and maybe that's what you're speaking about, is that he does have to play safe and
that's actually pretty
conservative, because he said things in the past that pissed people off, and he was famously anti-vax because when they were shooting that Godfather series, he was the one holding the production for
The one
Tristan
everybody forgot about, for sure.
Well, it's a TV show about making The Godfather. Of course, no one wants to watch it.
That was originally supposed to be a movie.
No, there was also supposed to be a movie in which Oscar Isaac was going to play Francis Ford Coppola, and it was one of those weird things where like they were going to make a movie and a show about the same thing. It's like, unlike Maestro, which there's supposed to be 2 Leonard Bernstein movies, one with Jake Gyllenhaal and one with Bradley Cooper, and the Bernstein family gave permission to Bradley Cooper only. So, but that's what happened. The Bernstein family said, Bradley Cooper can go make his movie. Jake Gyllenhaal, you can't go make your movie.
And they shouldn't have gave it to Jake.
No, see, when I shit on Maestro for saying the things that like, it's a well-directed movie and it is about acting and the performances are good. But if the movie's point is marriage is hard, then you wasted my time. And that's what it was. It's a movie like marriage is hard, marriage is tough. We get it. Like I didn't want it to be Bohemian Rhapsody where it explained how he wrote his orchestras or how he wrote the songs for West Side Story. I didn't want it to be that bland and generic, but it also really doesn't explain why he's great or how he became great. It's just he's great as is, and the wife had to suffer being married to a great man.
Also, it's that type of story.
Yeah, and that's why
people to be great.
No, she had to sacrifice to support his greatness. It's not he doesn't have to sacrifice anything. That's the point of my show.
No, that's what I'm saying, and that's been phrased in that way. It's that story that we hear. It's like Whiplash. With Whiplash, it was like, all right, I got to give.
That's someone actually sacrificing.
Yeah.
The Miles Teller I think he told us to Bill Simmons that there was an alternate ending to Whiplash where when he walks out after he screws him over for the final concert, like they're playing the one song and then he realizes like he's gotten swerved. Yeah. He walks out and his dad gives him a hug and then he walks back in. The original ending Miles Teller said was he goes out to give it. He goes out and his dad gives him a hug and then security's like, do you know this guy? And Miles Teller says like, no, I don't. And he goes back in. It was supposed to be like a real like turn to the dark side. Like he ignores his own father to like go worship this man who's just betrayed him and again pushed him through all this.
Lord Sidious from Star Wars.
No, when it is again, and that's why it's when he starts playing the song back to him, and that's why the final shot when it cuts to their eye lines is so great. It's like he got it, he got to him. But to what point?
That's still the best part of the movie too.
When it's the wrong song and he realizes it.
Yeah, he said, "Yeah, when I'm about to
got
your whole career." Yeah, that's like the biggest heel move that G ever did.
That's better than anything in like Usual Suspects or It Was Me All Along, Austin.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. Oh, son of a bitch! Like, bro, he by far played one of. If y'all never seen Whiplash, I just seen it for the first time.
Yeah, that was the funny thing. You started loving Whiplash when we started potting, I'm like Whiplash and stuff like this. You know, you like all those movies, and I'm like, it's a great movie.
No, then I watched it. I legit did that a couple times. One of the greatest heels ever.
Were you rushing or were you dragging? Were you rushing or were you? Is there a little bitch in my room?
Legit, bro. He was like
he was Bobby Knight.
Yeah, he was Bobby Knight. That's legit
Bobby
who
Knight
he was.
As a music teacher.
Or Bill Parcells.
I want winners.
Hey, bro, legit. Y'all, I'm not trying to, I ain't really spoiling it. He's great, but
it was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix or not.
It is.
Yeah.
That's when I saw it in November.
So check it out there if you haven't.
It's a 12-year-old movie almost anyway. So how am I spoiling it?
It's a decade now. It came out 2014.
Oh, bro. Yeah. See, you had time to watch it, and then I'm not spoiling anything. You see the trailer. That's kind of how he is throughout the whole movie. All right.
Yeah, the whole point. Because I remember reading about it. I'm like, it's a movie about drumming. I'm like, oh, and then it's about jazz drumming. I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, Dune Part 2. Dune Part 2 is really gonna be like the biggest blockbuster of the year so far. No offense to Argyle, but like we were always supposed to have Dune 2 months ago. The writer's strike, actor strike pushed it back, and that's because they wanted Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, all the people in it to sell it because the first one did okay, but they're gonna have the HBO Max day and date, so it didn't make as much as Warner Brothers thought it should make. And there's been talks lately that of a Dune Part 3, because there are more books in the series to adapt. Not because this is the main book split into 2 movies, but Frank Herbert wrote sequels to that book as well. So,
and I'm not mad at that because of the books
I'm not,
and then the content. So yeah, you can do sequels to this.
Well, what was bad is when, and I don't know if it's even going to go forward, but they were going to do this the TV show about Bene Gesserit, which is like the witches of that world, the women who come to see if he has the power, and that was supposed to be a Max show. And I think with all their money troubles as of late, I haven't heard anything about that moving forward or not.
They can't afford to do nothing. Just get your money on stream on worth nothing. Get your money.
They finished that Penguin series, and we're probably like that. We can't do it anymore.
Yeah, they barely got through it. Now they're talking about doing the Arkham series. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, when we talk about Batman 2, once more news comes out about that in the coming months. Again, my long theory, there was a Robert Downey Jr. movie coming up and Robert Pattinson movie coming up, but in between it is Roadhouse. Speaking of Jake Gyllenhaal,
oh yeah, I forgot they remade that.
They reworked everything about it. He's a UFC fighter who then becomes a bouncer. I mean,
that's why he did that UFC. Yep. Like, okay.
Yeah, they filmed scenes at an actual UFC pay-per-view, and the weigh-in. And it's not dull. Emilio Sparks, I think, has been vocal online about how he hates this movie already because it's not paying proper homage to Roadhouse, which is a solid.
Tell Sparks what Dave just said. That's his rival. It's that whole Italian Irish, the whole Italian Irish type beef they be having, Paul.
But no, I agree with Sparks that this is they just took the name Roadhouse and took the name Dalton and took the trope of like a guy goes to a new town and has to clean it up. But there's nothing Roadhouse else about it.
So he'll be doing UFC moves?
Yeah. And Conor McGregor is in this movie.
Oh, all right. Let's go watch that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's go watch that tomorrow.
Wait, that's not all. Doug Liman is the director of this movie. The man who directed Jumper, Edge of Tomorrow, and Mr.
You could have just stopped there with the Jumper. That movie was trash. You could have stopped it right there.
So this movie has everything going toward, last but not least, our girl, Daniela Melanchoire, is in this movie. Ratcatcher #2.
Oh yeah, when it's come out?
This is an Amazon Prime movie.
Yeah, when it come out though?
It comes out in March.
That's too far. I haven't seen the trailer for it though.
They've dropped a 5-second clip in which Jake Gyllenhaal like forearms the guy. That's it.
That's it. That's
it. No, you saw the Mr. and Mrs. Smith trailer with Donald Glover and Maya Erskine, the Amazon Prime show. They had a full reel of like Amazon shows and movies of this year. Fallout, the second part of Invincible. They showed all these other clips for Amazon movies and shows, and only 5 seconds of it was Roadhouse. And I don't know if it's that bad or they're really just trying to undersell it. But you can't see
it. I mean, it's on Amazon Prime, so it's not like you losing anything. Everybody has Amazon Prime.
But as you and I have talked about in the past, when we were anticipating movies or following movies, that when it's 2 weeks before release and we haven't seen much, or we keep saying the same footage, that's not a good thing either.
They shot it in the DR. This movie might be bad. Everybody was tired. They were having too much fun at them different type of roadhouses. The roadhouses I would be at.
And the late great Terry Funk in the original Roadhouse. How are you going to replace that? I don't know if Conor McGregor is playing like the guy in the jean outfit who was who told Patrick Swayze he used to fuck guys like him in prison. I think that's the role Conor McGregor is playing, the bad guy's henchman.
I ain't got no response for that.
Like I said, that is the most disturbing line in movie history when he said, "I used to fuck guys like you in prison."
As you gonna repeat it?
As they're fighting.
Hold on 1 second.
In the dirt.
That's all I'm gonna do is just show them so y'all get the reference.
It's that disturbing. That's why you got to repeat. Like, who came up with this?
I don't know, but maybe they got some experience.
So
maybe they bend the knee.
So the next movie is Mickey 17. So this is the Robert Pattinson movie I was just talking about. So Mickey 17 is an expendable, disposable employee on a human expedition sent to colonize the ice world Nimhelm. After
you talking about Roll House?
No, I'm talking about Mickey 17. Okay. After one iteration dies, a new body is regenerated with most of its memories intact. So basically, Robert Pattinson is playing an android type. You know, like
he already is an android.
Yeah, but in a movie, and this is directed by the guy who did Snowpiercer and Parasite.
Mickey Free is not a woman.
Mickey Free 17.
Mickey Free is a man.
Would you want to say Robert Pattinson is Mickey Free? Would you?
Hey, he could be whatever he wanted to be. He could be man, machine, or Mickey Free, but he is a man.
Mark Ruffalo's in this movie. Stephen Yeun, who just dropped out of the Thunderbolts, is in this movie.
Because he's smart. He's like, he talking about scheduling conflicts. No, it's not. He read that script and said, not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, but like I said, this is Bong Joon-ho's first movie since winning the Oscar for Parasite. So everyone's really anticipating. This is probably most critics' anticipated movie of the year. And there's only
be weird.
Yeah, I mean, he did Okja. Did you ever watch that? The movie about the girl and the giant pig.
It's the anime movie.
No. It almost could be one, but it's not. No.
Oh, I've seen it though, but no, I haven't watched it.
Yeah. Stephen Yeun was in that as well. Like Jake Gyllenhaal had a weird role in that movie. He was doing a weird accent. He was talking high with a voice like this. Like,
I've seen the flyer for it, or the poster I've seen for years. All right, let me add it to the list.
Like I said, I'm reading all from the list and then double checking on Letterboxd. Challengers. This is the Zendaya tennis movie in which there's a love triangle. That trailer famously was like, "What the hell's going on here?" Because it looks like the two guys.
He's a freaky.
Yeah, it looks like the two guys are gonna have are gonna be tunnel buddies.
Yeah, handicap match.
What did Tommy Dreamer say? I'll have both of them. I'm hardcore. When he kissed the girl and then Beulah at the same time.
Yeah, it might be.
This movie actually looks really good. I'm looking forward to this movie.
Why? Why are you looking forward to it?
Because it looks like a good romance triangle sports movie.
Oh, okay. So the romance is the first thing, not because it's a sports movie. Cool, got you. But yeah, when Will Smith put on the masterpiece movie.
Okay, no.
Picking somebody.
No. All right. Like I said, I don't like biopics. I don't like the true story with a bunch of phoniness involved.
You just watched the Maestro. What are you talking about?
And what I say, I didn't like it. I thought it was okay, but I didn't love it. And my thing about that was, again, like, as the podcast I listened to said when they talked about, like, there's no mention of him creating West Side Story with Sondheim. It just skips over that entirely. Where, like, that's one of the biggest works of art and pop culture history, and they just breeze over it so they can get on about how he had a lover and his wife hated it. That's what Maestro is about.
Okay, so I should just watch
Maestro.
Yeah. Oh, but
when you watch it, you'll be like a lot of like I thought the same thing too. Like Bradley Cooper is in a weird spot because he wants to showcase the actresses like he did in A Star Is Born. Like he wants the actress to be the focal point, but he also wants to be the focal point. But he's too worried about the criticism about being self-centered, like how when Ben Affleck had that shirtless scene in Argo, they're like, "Oh, look at how vain this guy is. He just took a shirt off to show how good he looks." Or it's like there's some of that in Maestro and some of like Bradley Cooper's acting and again the conducting. Like he's like I sent you that picture. He studied for 6 years. But the shitty thing about Maestro is like he wasn't forced to make it, but Spielberg told him to make it because Spielberg wasn't going to be able to make it after Scorsese wasn't going to be able to make it. So it was like,
grown ass man.
Yeah. And Bradley Cooper is this impressionistic guy because he's, again, a mark for Hollywood, especially for Hollywood legends, as we discussed with how he adored inside the actor studio while being someone who worked in the studio.
Which I understand, like, not to step on what Davis is saying. I understand, like, you have to be a mark for anything that you do because you're not making no money from it yet. So you have to have this sort of obsession with it. It's the same with Whiplash. The dude wasn't making no money from it. He was going through hell, but he really wanted it. Pause.
Yeah, because the girl asked him, like, what will you get out of being in this? And he said, I'll be the best. Like,
Right.
being in a band, like, you don't make that much. Or, like, he'll be what the teacher is. He'll be a Fletcher one day. He'll be a guy who can conduct a band.
Right. Also, too, I hate to keep talking about this movie. Y'all got to really watch this movie. He's about to try to run the fade with Fletcher. I said, bro, I would have threw one of them sticks at him. I would have went crazy, bro. If I just came out the accident.
But doesn't he tackle him when the performance goes bad?
Yeah, he's straight gold.
Yeah,
that ain't good enough. Then all Fletcher
Goldberg.
Like, bro, the only thing Fletcher do is the white boy thing. Get off me. Start cussing. Get off me. Nah, bro, you better put that lock on him. Yeah, no. So
again, J.K. Simmons was an old man strength at that, and he got in shape for that role. So I don't know, 6'2", 6'3" Miles Teller or old man strength J.K. Simmons. That's a real toss up.
I'm going with J.K. Simmons, bro.
Yeah, I would as well.
He was J. Jonah Jameson, and he did the voice from our guy in Invincible.
Omni-Man, yeah. I mean,
he played Omni-Man.
That's basically the same character as Fletcher.
Rightfully so. It's basically
what's he trying to tell us?
He probably do that with his kids. I don't know if he got kids.
No, famously, he said he loves his kids. That's why he was like, he stopped taking roles that had to be away from Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. So it's like, unless I'm in LA, I can't do roles.
Yeah. He said like the last 15 years of his career, he started becoming that guy.
I respect it. He's one of the few people that's like, all right, I got to put my family before the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, respect it. I don't have to worry about that. So let's continue.
We also got the movie Civil War. Did you see this trailer that dropped a few weeks ago?
Are they talking about the Civil War?
It's like a real Civil War. It's a modern day Civil War.
So January 6th?
Yes, but like turned all the way up.
Hard pass. Let's go.
It's like Texas and California are working together to take on the rest of the U.S. Yeah, it's something.
Oh, this is real. Hold on.
Yeah,
that sounds real.
No, you gotta watch this trailer. It's got a. However, speaking of Spider-Man, it's got Kirsten Dunst in it. So
I ain't got no problem with her. Why people hate her?
Well, her and her husband Jesse Plemons are in it. It's got Wagner Moura. Yeah, they're married to each other. Her and the bully from Like Mike, they're together.
Oh, Jesse Plant. What's his name?
Yeah,
from Like Mike.
Yeah, that's her man.
God bless them kids. No disrespect.
But yeah, this is a movie like it's a legit Civil War movie. It's by the guy who did he wrote most of Danny Boyle's movies. Like he wrote 28 Days Later, he wrote Sunshine.
So this is a biopic. All right, cool.
It's not a biopic. It's a look into the future, not a biopic.
Right. I'm gonna send this to mom. What's she gonna say? She gonna be like, "Yeah, I know." Me and her gonna have conversations again.
The poster is dope because the poster are two snipers on the Statue of Liberty on the flame. Like it's
the Alex Jones non-incel version of me is talking right now. Listen, they're gonna take all of us down. The liberals in California and Texas. They're going to take our guns. That's all this movie. This is all I'm seeing with this movie right now.
And it's also shot by Rob Hardy, who shot Ex Machina for Alex Garland.
Did you ever see that?
No, Nick Offerman is playing the president.
President who?
It's not like a real president. It's just, the president of this movie. He's not playing like, Ron DeSantis, if that's what you're thinking. It's not that.
It should be.
But it probably is, okay? Like
very much so. Y'all get ready. Cast your votes this year. Vote or die. Get your mom like that nasty man.
Next up, this movie was supposed to come out in March. It got pushed to May. It's my most anticipated movie of the year. It's Ryan Gosling in The Fall Guy. This is David Leitch's follow-up to Bullet Train. his homage to stuntmen in movies because he was once a stuntman himself. And this is obviously a movie version of the Lee Majors TV show of the 70s, 80s. So it's got a all-star cast: Emily Blunt, Winston Duke, Aaron Taylor Johnson. And yeah, David Leitch did Hobbs and Shaw, Bullet Train, Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, and co-directed the first John Wick. So one of our great action directors of the modern day. So I'm looking forward to this movie.
I'll check it out because he did 2 classics.
And it's written by Drew Pearce, who wrote Rogue Nation, Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, and Iron Man 3. And then
same cinematographer that he always
uh,
uses.
oh, David Leitch, more than likely. He always uses Jonathan Sella, but let me double check. Yeah, Jonathan Sella, who's done Bullet Train, John Wick, Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah,
And he kind of uses the same team because the whole point of David Leitch after John Wick 2 is that him and Chad Stahelski created 87 productions. It was 8711. I think it became 87 North. They each kind of run their own version. It's like NWO Black and White and NWO Wolfpack.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Stahelski has his own team for the John Wick movies because that's all he's made the last 10 years. And David Leitch has since expanded into anything non-John Wick related. But there is a John Wick related movie we'll be getting to shortly. But when I asked you about this, you weren't excited. You weren't excited for Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. But I thought you liked Fury Road.
I do. I love it.
You just think it's one to go back to this?
No, it don't look good. I mean, be it that it's a trailer, so we got to wait and see. But to me right now, it doesn't look good.
To me, all the action looked good. Everything story-wise looked bad. And everything story-wise looked like it was a parody of itself. And I agree with you where like it might not look that way. But I also said it doesn't look good because Chris Hemsworth has a weird fake nose because he wants to be goofy now. Yeah. And I had brought up that Yahya Abdul-Mateen II was not going to be in this movie as I previously thought, so that sucks. But I like Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she's a great actress. I think she's the right choice to play Furiosa. And it'll be cool to see her in something where she kicks ass because normally she's kind of the person who does weird, creepy stuff.
What needs to be saved.
Yeah. Or like there's some Split, The Witch, The Northman, a number of other movies. But
she's been a part of 2 classics too, Split and the Super Mario movie, which is my 3rd pick.
Okay, that's one movie I didn't watch last year, and I still don't want to watch it.
Actually, that's my 2nd favorite movie. They Clone Tyrone is number 3. Super Mario's 2.
Mamma mia!
Yeah, no, that movie's an instant classic.
Oh god, grow up!
No, grow up. You don't understand. So yeah, she did a great job as Princess Peach.
But that was the best casting of it all, besides maybe Charlie Day as Luigi, just because he looks like he could play Luigi in real life.
Everybody did well.
Even Chris Pratt?
Everybody did well.
Okay.
Instant classic.
But again, I'm not watching no fucking Mario.
Because you don't play video games, that's why. You don't know what.
Well, I just, when it was announced, I'm like, this doesn't seem good. And then when the trailer came out, I was like, eh. I mean, I did like the Toad part in the trailer, and it was Keegan-Michael Key playing Toad, so I thought that was good casting as well. But the rest of the trailer just didn't interest me, and I still don't want to check it out.
You could tell, even with voice acting, you can't fake to the audience. You could tell they actually all enjoy doing this movie just from the passion of which they were speaking from, just because people are excited, because for the most part, their age demographic, because I think Keegan is probably like 50 years old. So from there to small children, Keeks babies, everybody knows.
Yeah, this is a kid.
Yeah. No, but even 50-year-olds can enjoy this because they can be like, yo, I remember I played Donkey Kong and we used Super Mario back in like the 80s or whatever. So that's why it grossed billions of dollars and was the 2nd highest grossing movie of 2023. And of course, Barbie came through and kicked down the buildings.
But it took Barbie to do that because otherwise it was going to be Super Mario for the whole year. And unless Barbie did what it shockingly did, like I said, when we talked about it as an idea of a movie, we're like, I think this will make money, but I don't think I never thought it was going to make 1 billion. I thought like 400, 500. But again, I was the guy who thought Aquaman 2 was going to make 600-700 million, and boy was I wrong.
I watched that too. It was all right.
I'm just gonna wait till it's on Max. I'll watch it when it's on Max. That's the only DC movie of last year that I wanted to see. I didn't want to see Shazam, Fury of the Gods. I definitely didn't want to see The Flash, and I didn't want to see Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle was good.
I know Blue Beetle is a solid,
it's like a kids movie. Or like it reminded me so much of like the Disney movies, like Brink,
like a '90s movie. Yeah.
So that's why it worked out. With Aquaman, see, this is. I'll tell people, if you don't want to watch certain scenes. This is what time allows you to do with CG, because it's been in post-production for 3 years. Some of the best CG I've ever seen.
That's what I was telling you and Van, when you and Van are like, this movie's never coming out. It's laundering money. I'm like, no, James Wan's like, we filmed this movie underwater. This has to look good.
But it looks really good. It looks like a PS5 game.
The trailer looked good, except the story part of it. But again, the first Aquaman didn't look good to me story-wise, because I'm like, Jason Momoa being, like, all right, like.
That's the third best movie they ever made.
Yeah, I agree. We talked about this a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But all this stuff visually is amazing in the first Aquaman. Again, like, James Wan is secretly one of our best action directors. Furious 7, Aquaman. Malignant, watch Malignant. It used to be on Max. It's now on Netflix. It's a good horror movie that has action in it. And him and Blumhouse, his production company, Atomic Monster, just merged with Blumhouse. So they're going to take over the horror space for the coming future.
Hey, Todd, you might as well fund that movie yourself, brother. That Spawn movie ain't getting made. Speaking of 2024, that's supposed to come out this year.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff we'll kind of get to at the end of movies that don't have official dates. Particularly two movies I'm really excited for, but let me get back to the list. But yeah, there was just so much like nonsense that came out last year. Well, not Chef in a way, but nonsense in terms of like Aquaman 2.
Compared to this year, it's like, dog, everybody's most anticipated movie is Deadpool 3. And you want to know why the business, in the words of the great Bret Hart, you want to know why the business is the way it is
Hulk
today?
Hulk Hogan said that when
remember, you're right, but remember also, Bret, I forgot how he phrased it, so you're right, actually. I apologize. When Bret was talking, he spit on Vince, this is balls with the cage. This is why wrestling. Yeah. So, but whoever said it, this is why Hollywood is in the state that it is today. Because you got Deadpool 3 as the most anticipated movie of the year. Are you kidding me? Just because y'all want to live in nostalgia. And that's the problem with everybody. You want to live in the past instead of the now, when people are building foundations for new houses in the now. All right? The World Trade Center is destroyed. It's unfortunate. But now y'all want to rebuild a new one with other bull. And that's what Deadpool is. It's not the World Trade Center. I don't know what building. It might be the Empire State Building when King Kong was on top of it, right? Or Donkey Kong. Regardless, it's done. The Deadpool is dead. Bury it. And I don't care about all these X-Men references. You can't use the property until 2026 anyway. I don't care that they want to bring back new Logan, old Logan. I don't care. It's done. It's going to be a shame that's going to be the highest grossing movie this year. Because it's nothing.
Damn. Okay. Cat Williams.
Right. Let me tell you something.
Ryan Reynolds, he can't act.
Right.
Did you know this?
Look, when I got offered the script, you got to do calm, Cat Williams. When I got offered the script to Deadpool, it was me, and it was supposed to be Tyrese that was supposed to play Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, I thought you were saying Professor.
They didn't tell you that. Harvey Weinstein came in.
Okay, no. You already said World Trade Center and then Harvey Weinstein in the same 3-minute span.
That is what I said about that list on other podcasts yesterday. All right. Allegedly.
But you...
Yeah, let's get past it.
No, because Deadpool 3 is coming up. So you made your point clear, but I'll tell you why I'm excited for it. But this year, we have Ballerina, which is the female spinoff to John Wick. So this is about the ballerinas that he sees train in John Wick Chapter 3. This is about one of them, played by Ana de Armas. So I'm kind of like, okay. But however, it's directed by Len Wiseman, who did Live Free or Die Hard, which you and I both enjoy. However, it cuts so much.
I watched that movie last week, and I was like,
It's
it's
so
not as good as
bad.
I remember.
Its set pieces are good, but its actual direction is horrendous.
It was after watching it, because I haven't seen it since 2013 when it first came out. I went back and watched
it. That's the fifth one. Live Free or Die
I'm
Hard.
tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw 5 minutes of that and said I'll never watch the rest of this movie.
Okay, so going back to the last Die Hard, you could tell.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis legit. That's why I love him. God bless him, because it's just like, I'm just here to get paid. That's really what that movie is. Yeah. He did not give an ounce of care.
And that's what he basically told Stallone for Expendables 3, that I don't want to do this, but you're gonna pay me. And so I ain't fucking paying you. He said, yes, you are. You're gonna pay me.
Right, church.
Or else I'm not gonna do the movie. And so we ain't gonna do the fucking movie. And then they called Harrison Ford, who said, how much you gonna pay me? Penitent man.
No, but he had one of the greatest lines in movie history. What line? This is what he said. This is Christmas. What language is he speaking? That, bro, when I saw that, I was laughing for at least 20 minutes straight. I couldn't believe all that stuff.
Expendables 4 was one of the worst bombs of last year as well. Which we weren't surprised when we read the cast. Like,
bro, that was Pearl Harbor. That movie was.
God damn, what is with you? You are Oliver Stone right now. You were just like name dropping history and.
Oh, that's coming out this year. Speaking of presidents, I don't know if Oliver Stone.
No, that movie's never coming out. I thought you meant the Ronald
It'll be
Reagan
out tomorrow.
I thought you meant the Ronald Reagan movie that Dennis Quaid was supposed to put out as Ronald Reagan, like within the last. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah, but we don't need that, because then you can do a whole movie about him putting crap in the hood. The Trump movie's supposed to be coming out this year.
What's a movie with a president that you would want to see that hasn't been made? No, I like like we've had Lincoln, we're gonna get a Trump movie, but it's not about him as president. Like what president do we need to see as a movie?
Kamala Harris.
All right, fuck you.
She is the president. When the last time you seen the sock puppet talk?
Okay. If I want to hear you talk, I'll put my hand up your ass and control your mouth like a puppet.
We need to get the economy.
He's 80 years old. Everyone knew what was going on when we voted for him.
I don't care if he was 8 years old. An 8-year-old actually.
The other guy was the same age. That's how crazy Trump is as well. Like we the same age. It's LA Knight, John Cena. We the same age.
I like this conversation, but then we do kind of.
Bro, we the same age. Yeah, like what do you mean? Like,
hey, big homie.
Yeah. That's Trump, Joe Biden. They're the exact same age, but like you wouldn't know it.
You think he's calling Thomas Jefferson big homie? Hey, big homie, bro, I got at your age.
You mean like this, like the ghost of Thomas Jefferson, or the painting on the wall?
Yeah, but he's not up there. He's down there.
Okay, all right. Randy Orton in 2006. And he didn't go to heaven, Ray. He was in hell. Like, what the fuck?
No, that was what? 12 years now? No, not 12.
18.
Yeah, that was so long ago, but it still be having me in tears. I'm like, who let him say this, yo?
Okay.
I would as soon as he got to the back, I'm bombing on you, bro. I'm running the fade.
So here's why we should be scared of the future of the John Wick franchise. Because if you've seen John Wick Chapter 4, you kind of know how it ends. It's, however, a like bait and switch. So it's he's as, like Chris McQuarrie once said, he's as dead until the next person says he's alive. Chris McQuarrie was famous for telling people stop being upset that Luke Skywalker died, because he was like, it's a movie. They can bring him back in the next one if they want to. He's like, the Kingsman 2 just came out. Colin Firth gets shot in the first one, and guess who's in the second one? Right. Colin Firth. So go ahead.
But people, not to spoil it for y'all, he did get his nose wiped enough where if he come back, it's like, all right, bro, y'all got it.
I mean, he's John Wick. Who knows how long John Wick takes place in terms of
I was talking about the Kingsman too. When he got to the island and he got they made him ground beef. But I'm saying litter. But
the crazy part about the Kingsman 2 is when Mark Strong as Merlin sacrifices himself because he's the one who steps on the mine. Matthew Vaughn said it was a deleted scene where they come back and he's still alive, just legless, and he's like, I lost me fucking legs, and he was supposed to then have robot legs, they were going to use the robot legs from her robot dogs and give them to him, and Matthew Vaughn said it didn't work.
You can't. We saw the movie.
No, it was while he was doing the post production of it. He's like, and he's like, I love Mark Strong. I want to continue working with Mark Strong, but it just didn't work as an idea to kill him off in that dramatic moment and then say he was alive the whole time. Because again, you can only do that so many times. So I'm not mad again if we don't get another proper John Wick. I didn't watch the TV show that they did on Peacock about the origins with Mel Gibson in it and all that. And it wasn't because
Mel Gibson. I forgot that even came out.
Yeah, it just looked low rent.
Hey, man, if y'all want to see anything Mel Gibson has done as entertainer, look at his interviews in the past year, especially the interview he did on NBC to promote that movie. Bruh, when I tell you I was in tears when they start asking him certain questions, he started freaking.
Is it a real, are you what's he going to say?
No, it's him. Because the whole, I'll send y'all it. Bruh, he legit couldn't be still because he always do that interviews anyway. But he doing this, he moving around. He did not look at the camera once or the interview. He doing this.
Well, as an actor, he knows not to look at the camera. So
no, but because what the movie he just produced is about, right?
Yeah.
So they start asking questions about that, and then the business he said, no. That's what he looked at the camera. Hey, no, we up out of here.
Yeah, notorious anti-Semite Mel Gibson. But
all could be forgiven, I guess.
But like I said, Ballerina's in trouble because it has Lynn Wiseman at the helm. Shay Hatton, who wrote the last two John Wicks, but he also wrote Army of the Dead, Rebel Moon, both parts. Shane Hatton, I think he's from Oakland, notorious new age hack. Shane Hatton. Shay Hatton. He's a youngish guy. I think he's from the Bay. But he's become Zack Snyder's go-to guy, and he's become the official handler of the John Wick franchise because they kind of just put Dark Kolstad to the side for some reason.
Yeah, he is from Oakland. He's only 30 years old.
Yeah. But when you see him, he's like, this is what he looks like.
Yeah, I was just about to pull it. I didn't want to talk about how everybody look. He went to Lower Marymount. That's what's up.
But it does have Punch Up by Emerald Fennell, who just did Saltburn. So that might be another indicator that this movie might be in trouble. And I love Emerald Fennell's first movie, Promising Young Woman. She's hired just to add some jokes and comedy to it. But Lionsgate just broke off from its parent company. It's going to be its own entity. So we're going to get a whole bunch of John Wick related stuff in the future. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But Ballerina is not a hard fucking pass yet. This movie, we've been talking about it off and on, is a hard fucking pass, and that's Bad Boys 4. So here's why. No. Here's why it should be, because they can't even use For Life with the 4 in it because they called the third one For Life. So now we're just at Bad Boys 4. This is how this movie shouldn't exist. We talked about this on White Noise almost a year ago when that footage of Will Smith being a total loser, recording himself getting to the car. He bumped his head to be like, I'm silly. I bumped my head getting to the car. He was recording himself driving. He put on the song.
He's trying to get that woman. That's why.
Shake your tail, but like, he was like, "Yeah, y'all know what this is." And he knocked on someone's door. He's like, "Whose door am I knocking on?" And then Martin Lawrence opened it up. He's like, "Hey," and it's like, "Yes, we're filming."
With his one good eye, he opened the door.
Just because the man, is going through some health stuff, but
he ain't going through.
Here,
he's Scott Steiner.
You just said you're not making fun of. No, you just said you're not making fun of how people look, and then Martin Lawrence comes up early, look with his eye and fat ass. Like you're scared to make fun of how white people look. Just say it.
Well,
exactly. There we go. So, Bad Boys for Life. Teresa Randall isn't going to be in it. That's already a hard pass for me.
He's not going to say it. That's the first thing he said to me last week about this movie.
No, I said it because
shame the devil and tell the truth. That's the first thing you said. You didn't say nothing else about nothing else. You said, "Oh, Teresa Randall ain't gonna be there." That's why I'm messing with the movie. All right, dog.
I don't know how Michael Jordan divorces Juanita. How does he not call Teresa Randall, who played his wife in Space Jam, right away?
Because she probably married, bro.
He's Michael Jordan.
I don't think he respects marriage, but that's
what I'm saying. Like,
he probably already. I ain't trying to be a chatty patty. This ain't the shade room, but he probably already had it. Like, I'm cool.
Yes, Teresa Randall. Again, it's not what I wanted, and it's directed by the same guys who did Bad Boys 3.
Because you act like she was in the entire 3. She was in 2 scenes.
They replaced her with Tasha Smith. What do you want to say now?
Hey, man. Y'all ever see Why Did I Get Married 1 and 2? All right, let's move on. She had Michael J. White almost super kicker.
Eric Dane. Eric Dane's going to be the villain, so that's good casting. Iowan Grufford? I can never say his name, but the guy who was the original Mr. Fantastic is going to be in this movie.
As the villain?
Just as a character. They haven't listed his role yet.
He got to be the villain. Come on.
In the cast, Joyner Lucas is in the cast.
Hey, it was a pleasure talking to y'all. Won't be seeing that movie. As soon as you said that, jabroni.
And then the part to me that is like a real, like, oh, okay, is that, like I said. So Vanessa Hudgens, Alexander Ludwig, and Charles Melton were the 3 young people to
Vanessa's still in it? Never mind. We back at it.
Well, no, but like, remember, it was those 3 were like the new additions to the squad. But it's like they were going to replace, the whole point of them on the Miami PD was like they were going to replace Mike and and Marcus. But Charles Melton is not returning to this movie. He's the Asian guy. He's not coming back to this movie because he's going to be nominated for an Oscar this year for his role in December. So like he has kicked this franchise to the curb, and Will Smith, who needs every bit of help he can these days, is coming back to it.
Is his son gonna be in this movie?
That's what I told you after Teresa Randall. I'm like, Teresa Randall's not going to be in this movie, and the Spanish son's not going to be in this movie. That guy was in the Expendables 4 and is not coming back to do this movie.
But wait, DJ Khaled is going to be in this movie as Manny the Butcher again.
The guy. No, don't do Manny. I was like, be careful where you're treading.
No, not my Argyle brother. Not one of my favorite people on the planet. He should play the Butcher in this, but yeah.
But this movie, I don't want it. I don't need it. Keep it. Keep the whole thing.
Did they finish it?
It's supposed to have completed filming because it's a June 14th release.
Yeah, because they shot it last April. Damn, I remember them shooting it last April. And then the writer's strike shouldn't affect something like this.
Well, filming was suspended in July due to SAG-AFTRA, but I bet they picked it back up because I bet it probably
November.
Was.
I think they picked it right back up after that.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately not, which is still, I don't understand that. They didn't even say he was mixed. They couldn't hire Jaden. They couldn't hire no mixed.
He's completely Hispanic. There's not 1 ounce.
Yeah, they're going to explain that one. You know what they're going to probably do? They're going to probably say, that wasn't my son. It was a joke.
But the stupid thing is, the movie ends Bad Boys for Life ends with like a post-credit scene of him talking to him in jail. Is like, I got a mission for you. And it seems like he's going to bring him on to. No, yeah, it ends like that. You don't remember it?
Yeah, but I'm saying.
No, but and I'm like, is this the fucking Suicide Squad? What the fuck am I watching? Like,
basically.
Because like, yeah, this man's your son. He killed the captain. This man is still a murderer, and you want to invite him to work for you just because he's your son that you barely knew?
What's the women say? It's giving Fast and the Furious, brother.
I watched Ronin earlier today from the 90s, the Robert De Niro. No, and the car chases in that are phenomenal. And I just when like Fast X came out last year, and we can't even do better than a 90s movie in 2023.
But that's some movies were good because they had influence.
No, 4 years later we get the Fast and the Furious, and the car chases in that are great. So I'm like, but anyway, yeah, Bad Boys for Life. Fuck that movie. No, again, you. All right, that can kind of lead us into Beverly Hills Cop 4, Axel F, which you said you're back in on. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I mean, I love seeing Eddie Murphy around, but I don't know.
Working a lot lately. Somebody got him about the cheer.
Well, you always said it was he's got a lot of kids, so.
And you know what it is? Most of these movies shooting in LA, so it's probably down the street from the crib. He like, all right, I'll get up and go to work.
No, he was. You People was probably my worst movie of the year last year.
Which is super LA based. So again, it's probably like, unless I don't want to leave the crib. Yeah. Unless it's down the street from me.
Studio, or we're in the greater LA area. Nope. Because that movie came like, and I don't know where that movie's supposed to take place, but they definitely filmed it on some set.
Yeah. He definitely was like, all right, y'all got me from 9 to 5. That's all we're gonna do is 8 hours. And then most of the time he has his photo double doing most of the scenes anyway. Unless it's the
he said he was that doing this movie was hard for him because he's not in shape as he was in the 80s for the first two. And I'm like, well, I mean, stunt doubles exist, Eddie, and we don't expect you to be Tom Cruise. Like,
well, he wanted to apparently.
Yeah,
I mean, like, for him to say
that's the evilness of Jerry Bruckheimer being like, look at Eddie, Tom did it. Get your ass off that couch. Like, he was motivating him like, Mickey, get off your ass, Ruck. Like, and Eddie Murphy was probably like, well, it's Tom Cruise. He acts every day. I act 8 times a decade. Like, leave me alone.
He definitely Rocky 6. Go against the
training Tommy Morrison.
Yeah, going to get no. It's only Tarver, the 6th one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 6. Oh, yeah, Rocky Balboa. Yeah,
when he gave that speech, the only thing people remember from that movie when he's talking to his adult son.
Yeah,
life is gonna come at you hard.
That's the only one I've never seen. I've never seen Rocky Balboa.
It's cool.
But I know that scene. It's about hard you get hit and how you keep getting up.
Life isn't fair.
So speaking of old timers in Hollywood, so Kevin Costner,
okay,
my guy, he quits the highest rated show on TV, Yellowstone, to go make these Western movies. And it's actually one movie split into 2 parts. It's called Horizon and American Saga, Part 1, and then Part 2. Part 1 is June 28th. Part 2 is August 16th. He is going to make no fucking money with either of these movies.
Tell the people why.
And he bankrolled most of it himself, ironically. But he quit
Yellowstone. People why.
But he quit Yellowstone because he was tired of it being an ensemble and they weren't working to his schedule, his liking of what his schedule should be. He thinks Taylor Sheridan's a pompous ass, which I get, but I like Taylor Sheridan too. But Kevin Costner's going through a divorce, so this isn't gonna
tell the people how much and how young is the kid. So that's why he like, I gotta be careful about every project I do.
Well, this is his second marriage too, so he probably owes on the first marriage. So Compton Kevin, my boy, is gonna be hurting. He might have to tuck his tail between his legs and go back to Yellowstone. which they said this 5th season of Yellowstone was supposed to be the final, and that they were going to spin it off, and potentially Matthew McConaughey was going to take over the show with some of the original Yellowstone cast members. It's been a whole big thing that's been pressed pause due to both strikes in Hollywood. And I bet they're kind of holding out hope that Kevin Costner again does the right thing and comes back. But the fact that he chose to leave, like I said, the highest rated show on TV to go make a movie about pre and post Civil War America. And Mark Bernardin pointed this out, that there's no black people in this movie. A movie about the Civil War has no black people in this cast. So it's kind of like a real, like, what side of history do we want to tell here? There was a brief trailer. It's like Kevin Costner riding on horseback. And it's like, come in this next summer. And it keeps like riding. And then he turns around and then pulls out a gun, just goes, and it's like Horizon. It's just like a real like 90s throwback trailer. And it's like,
hey, June, not to be a chatty patty.
Go ahead.
Real quick, not to be a chatty patty. This ain't the shade room, but Kevin Costner has 6 kids.
Yeah.
And he got like 3 young ones. So yeah.
And like
he's gonna be doing westerns for a minute.
And like I said, he put his own money into this because it was his passion project that he couldn't get off the ground for a number of years due to its cost. And let me just look up the budget if I can find it real quick. And again, he was making bank on Yellowstone. That was like him going to TV was a huge deal, but they were paying him $2 million an episode, I think, or he was getting $20 million a season, something like that.
Which also, let me break it down for anybody about that sorority that you get in Hollywood, because they take most of the money anyway. So people hear $20 million a year. Yeah, that's extremely good, especially for somebody like me. That's beyond good. That's life changing.
1.3 per episode.
But y'all still got to factor in the cost of living in California where they shoot the show.
Yellowstone, no, they shoot it on the Montana ranch that Taylor Sheridan owns, or the Texas ranch he owns. They shoot it on the ranch that the creator owns.
Okay, so
it's not in California.
Let me just stick
that's where
with
the scheduling was a big deal for him.
Yeah, and let me just stick with this then. You still got to pay all the people in your camp. You still got to pay SAG. You got to pay after and taxes. So, and then he probably has properties, or he live in California, maybe being Kevin Costner. Then you got to factor in again,
he lives in Malibu. Famously, he lives in Malibu. Yeah.
So the upkeep for the house, y'all do y'all math on that. Upkeep for the house, the 6 kids. I mean, obviously 3 of them are adults, and then everything else that comes with that. So that $20 million a year probably going down to about 8 to 5.
He contributed $20 million of his own money into the movie, which is budgeted around $100 million. And we know this because it had to be filed in his divorce proceedings. So
most of them earnings is going to go to her.
Yep.
Hey, if you get married, don't get married in California.
Yeah, read up on this divorce because it's pretty interesting. But yeah, this
she probably know.
No, that's why it's interesting. But no, this cast has Sienna Miller, Sam Worthington, Jenna Malone, Michael Rooker, Danny Houston, Luke Wilson, Will Patton. Yeah, it's just, again, a lot of white people in a movie about America pre and post Civil War.
If I get married, I'm getting married in China. No,
it's, again, that's why you don't get married ever. Especially if
you do, but not in California.
No, never. Again, don't allow your money to be taken.
Get yourself in trouble.
That's why, again, the Chappelle joke about the guy who had nothing and she took half of that is so great and accurate because, like, again, even if you have nothing, they'll still take it. That's why it's funny when the man asks for the money in the divorce. Like, I
told Davis to say all this fresh and fit stuff. I told him to say this.
But
this ain't his opinion.
Deadpool 3 is in August. You just shat on it 10 minutes ago. I'm looking forward to it, although I have my reservations like you. One, Sean Levy's the director. Sean Levy's made a lot of mid movies. He started out making Big Fat Liar, which is a great kids movie. It's a great 10-year-old movie. You didn't like it?
No.
Oh, damn, that hurts my feelings.
I'm lying.
But,
I saw it multiple times. Shut up, Ricky Benitez
but
and Amanda Bynes. Get well.
He's taken over the helm. They initially had new writers. So Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese were kicked off the project. Then they brought them back. Ryan Reynolds, again, was going to write the movie like he wrote the second one, co-write it, I should say. And famously, yes, they brought Hugh Jackman back because they were out of ideas. And I agree, that's dumb. Then you don't need a third movie if you're out of ideas. If James Marsden is coming back to be Cyclops, I will say I'm excited because there have been rumors of Jennifer Garner as Elektra, which they weren't even the same universe. So
again, that's what I'm saying, bro. They just make a gumbo pot of crap.
But that's because Jennifer Garner was in the last movie that Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds did, which was a Netflix movie, The Adam Project. And what do we always say? Hollywood's about working with the people you like these days.
It's that's cool. I ain't got no problem with Jennifer Garner. Yeah. Trust me. Ben Affleck better than me. I would have stayed at home. That's a whole different conversation.
Well, but like that. No, their marriage was maestro. Marriage is hard. I want to be a success, and I want you to support me. He did. He went back to the one he wanted.
And you see how he looked now. He looked worse. He
looks
now.
No. That's all right. No. He looks like that 24/7, 365.
Yeah, because the woman he chose, or women he chose, except for the
you look like that when he was with her. Okay, because Matt
always leave the person that you take to the dance. Always leave with him. The person you brought to the dance, always leave with him.
He went to the dance of her. If that was the case, then he has to be with Gwyneth Paltrow's crazy ass.
Wouldn't do that.
Yeah, see, can't do it.
The candle lady?
Yeah.
I need winners. Well, I said the candle lady before it was Badu, it was Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, she smelled. See, again.
I don't know if you want to get into that. Yeah, I'm good on that.
That shit is gross.
Very.
As Blackbush said.
It definitely smells like salami.
We are getting a new Alien movie. They continue to make Alien movies. I forgot. Are you a fan of the Alien franchise? I thought you hated it, right?
After 2, no.
I know you hate Prometheus, and I know, right? You hate that one.
Yeah, but this is what it's reminiscent of. So is this Prometheus 2? Because I remember they talked about that for the longest.
Oh no, to be honest, this is based off the cast. It's like aliens with teenagers, kind of. It seems it's like a young cast, but like they're being terrorized by the xenomorphs now. It's not like older people, so they're trying to inject youth into the Alien franchise. It's like 20-year-olds, yeah.
Show them the old ones.
But I'm psyched because it's by Fede Alvarez, who did Don't Breathe, and that movie's great.
Never seen it.
Oh, you should. It's got one of the most fucked up scenes. And he did the first Evil Dead remake. And he did the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo reboot that didn't work as a reboot, but he's a very, very talented director. So I'm excited for this.
Oh, I do want to see this with the blind dude that was basically Daredevil.
Yeah. But
I want to watch this. I've been wanting to watch this for a minute.
Yeah. So and there's also supposed to be an Alien TV show on FX around the same time this year. So and I can't remember if this is officially supposed to be.
FX still alive?
Yeah.
It's crazy. They probably just show X-Men 2 all day.
Yeah, see, a group of young people on a distant world find themselves in a confrontation with the most terrifying life form in the universe. And it's Alien Romulus is the official title. But yeah, the cast is a bunch of like 20-year-olds. But I mean,
no,
I still never finished Covenant, but I like parts of Prometheus. I agree, they're not the first two.
The one with Idris Elba and Charlize Theron with that tension.
No, I do think that scene where she has to cut the xenomorph out of her is like terrifying. But yeah, it's a crazy fucked up movie. And again, it's about God, and does God actually exist when we have aliens? I mean, that's Damon Lindelof being, again, pretentious, but sometimes that works. Watch Watchmen. So we also have a movie I know I'm going to look forward to more than you, which is, it's not called Wolves, it's called Wolves, which is not correct grammar, but
Right.
it's George Clooney and Brad Pitt getting back together, playing two fixers, which are guys that clean up messes. It's directed by John Watts, who did all 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. So I'm looking forward to this movie. It's an Apple TV movie. There's only really set photos of them hanging out, but as someone who loves the first 2 Oceans movies, I'm excited to see Brad Pitt and George Clooney get back together. And John Watts showed he had a lot of talent as a director in the first and third Spider-Man movies. Far From Home was the only one where it's like, yeah, this doesn't seem that good, but No Way Home, he goes for it with some wonders, some of the action scenes, and it's his first post Spider-Man thing to see if he's, someone who could be a real director in the future. And then a movie that we were getting hyped early last year with, because they announced everyone was going to be this movie, is Gladiator 2. Is supposed to come out at the end of the year. Sir Ridley Scott, 86 years old, I think, is returning to direct. Yep, he turned 86 in November. It's got my guy Paul Mescal from Normal People. He's going to be the hero of this story. It's the little kid from the first run growing up. It seemed like he grew up like he ran away from home and then maybe becomes a gladiator himself. But Pedro Pascal is going to be in this movie. The GOAT, Denzel Washington, is going to be in this movie. Who it was supposed to be a real all-star cast because my guy Barry Keoghan, who is the Joker and Robert Pattinson is the Batman, he was Droog in the Eternals. He was supposed to be in it, but he had to drop out because scheduling conflicts. But Pascal, Denzel Washington, like Jamon Hunsu is supposed to come back. Always love seeing him.
He gonna be old as hell though in this one.
Oh no, he's not coming back. I thought he would be. No, it's a mistake.
I thought Denzel was actually replacing him.
No, I can't remember if Denzel's supposed to play like a real historical figure, because one person is playing, I think 1 or 2 people are playing like real people in history. It's kind of doing that thing where it merges fiction and reality.
It's like God of War. That's why I'm like hyped for this, just because God of War is now with the North. I don't know how you now say it. It's probably North with like Loki and
Norse mythology. Yeah.
But then they did the Roman one already.
Okay.
Or the Greek mythology. So it's kind of like that as well. And I love those stories. So that alone is good enough for me. But yeah, I forgot this was coming out this year.
Yeah, there's been
I know they shot it in New York too. So funny enough.
Well, yeah, there's been no set photos of it at all. Just
we ain't
just the photos of the guys training. But like I said, Ridley Scott is 86 years old and he's not slowing down.
Oh, he just like me.
I mean, he had Napoleon come out this past year. I haven't seen that. And the guy who wrote Napoleon is writing this, so that's the interesting part. And
I got access to it. Still haven't seen it.
So here are the final 2 movies. Well, there's actually 3. So one is Nosferatu, which is a remake of the film Nosferatu, which is
love it. Yeah.
The other interpretation of the Dracula story. This is by the guy who did The Northman, The Lighthouse, Robert Eggers. He's telling his version of Nosferatu. Bill Skarsgård is playing Nosferatu. He was Pennywise. He was great as the villain in John Wick Chapter 4 because he was really turning on that French accent when he says John Wick. You will die. Willem Dafoe will be in this movie. He's a frequent collaborator of Robert Eggers. So he's getting his star on the Walk of Fame, I think, in the next week or 2. So congrats to Willem Dafoe. Legend, Norman Osborn, many other roles. But Anya Taylor-Joy was supposed to be in this movie, but she was replaced by Johnny Depp's daughter. And if you watch The Idol, you're kind of like, yeah. I mean, her acting's
trash.
Okay. It's okay.
Ain't gonna tell the truth. No,
she's okay, but she wasn't good as the pop star. She wasn't believable in that role. Was the thing.
Nobody was. That was just a passion project.
No, the weekend was believable in that role.
That was his project, just to get that white woman. Nobody gonna say it though.
That's every project though.
No, right.
So that's coming out again. That's I think an end of the year release. It's not officially dated, but
And
a
it's
movie that
time
I've
for
been
them to remake that movie because that movie is what 90 years old.
damn near, yeah.
Yeah, 1922. So that's fine.
And it's tied to again Universal constantly trying to reboot their Monsters franchise. They had 2 Dracula movies last year. They had the Nick Cage one, which we talked about, which made no money, and then they had the version of it's not really Dracula, but like the monster form where he's just like Man Bat, which is Last Voyage of Demeter. Corey Hawkins was in this movie. It was a
Oh, I know
movie
what
where
you're talking about when they was on the boat.
where they're on the ship. Yeah, that again, they're
Yeah.
just constantly trying to make Dracula movies, or there's going to be a Wolfman movie this year that Ryan Gosling dropped out of, so I'm not psyched for it anymore. He was replaced by someone else. And they were supposed to do one other. Oh, they're supposed. It's not dated, but there's supposed to be a Van Helsing movie by the guy that did the Pope's Exorcist. He's supposed to be directing the Van Helsing
Oh my god.
movie, and no one's attached. It's just his name is attached to the project. No writer or actor is officially attached. But the final project that I'm most anticipating is a Netflix movie. I've anticipated, you know what it is because I've been anticipating it for 3 years now, which is Havoc, directed by Gareth Evans of The Raid 1 and 2, starring Tom Hardy. We've talked about this movie for 3 years and nothing has come out. Gareth Evans said last year that stay tuned. News is going to come out. More is going to come out, and nothing came out. And apparently, I just looked up on the Empire podcast. He did a live show with them in which they asked him about Havoc. So I have to listen to that to see if he dropped any snippets. But still, there's been no trailer. There's been no official image. It's just Tom Hardy set photos of him on like a street because it's supposed to be an underground crime movie in which Tom Hardy has to rescue someone. Yeah. So it's the guy who created the Raid action scenes with Tom Hardy now. So that's why I'm all in. It's got a great all-star cast: Forrest Whitaker, Timothy Olyphant,
Louise Guzman. I'm looking it up right now as we speak.
But again, nothing's come out about it in terms of official thing. And this is a Netflix movie, and they've been trying to hold off on stuff the last couple months due to the writers and actors strike because they're not trying to burn through all their content. But still, it's weird that I thought this was going to be a 2023 release when I did that episode of White Noise talking about my most anticipated movies of the year last year. Yeah. This was on it again, like it was the year before when we did it in 2022. And maybe just needs that extra fine tuning, like you said, like James Wan with Aquaman. Like, hang on, it's not finished. Everything has to be cut perfectly, edited perfectly. He doesn't use a lot of CGI, but I bet it's a lot of that hidden CGI where the camera tricks and all of it just to make sure. But yeah, hopefully this finally comes out because other than that, there's only a few movies that don't have official dates or that I'm not really anticipating. There is the Transformers animated movie with Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime, Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron. Are you going to be hyped for that?
I don't know. I'll wait for more images to come out. It sounds good though. I do.
It's
like
just purely an animated movie, like the cartoon. And I don't know if it's going to be hand drawn or like Pixar.
Wait, who you said doing Megatron?
Brian Tyree Henry, Paperboy.
Okay, that makes sense because I was like, no, he definitely got to be Megatron.
Lawrence Fishburne is Alpha Trion. John Hamm is Sentinel Prime. Keegan-Michael Key is Bumblebee.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that was coming out.
Scarlett Johansson is Alita. That's the only voice cast as of right now.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was coming out.
Transformers 1. It's supposed to be the story of how young Optimus Prime and Megatron went from being brothers in arms to swarm enemies. So it's basically like that G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movie that they did a few years ago where it was like Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow were best friends the whole time.
And I think it'll work because, like you just said, it's animated. So, yeah, I'm all for this.
There is another animated film I think you might be excited for, which is Lord of the Rings, The War for Rohirrim. It's an anime Lord of the Rings movie. Its voice cast is Brian Cox and a few other people, but I think you might be looking forward to that.
Well, because like The Hobbit if it was like illustrated like The Hobbit, that'd be great. Like the old movie that came out like in the 60s or something like that, that'd be great. But depending on how it's animated and what the story is, I'm all for it. Like I'm a big animation guy, so I'll watch. Like you just told me about Transformers 1. I didn't know that was coming out.
Well, its director is a true anime director. It shows that he's directed a Ghost in the Shell, the Blade Runner Black Lotus show, and a bunch of other anime series and movies on his resume. So,
okay, yeah, I'm looking it up right now, and it's coming out for Christmas. So, July 13th is when it's supposed to come out. Okay,
this is probably your true.
Yeah, I'm doing my research. Yeah.
No, the one I'm about to say right now is probably your true top 5 most anticipated, and that's Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I know you got to be hyped for that because the introduction.
This man knows me well. Let's go.
Of Shadow, but they don't have a name attached for Shadow yet. Well, because Taylor
is it the original cast from the second one? Yeah.
Yep. It's Ben Schwartz returning as Sonic, Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Tails, Idris Elba as Knuckles, which is still the funniest casting to me of all time when they announced Idris Elba. I've still never seen either Sonic movie, but
you should watch him.
Yeah.
Especially the second one.
We just talked about this the other day. But like who knows? Because we were just talking about how it was going through the production trouble, which is the Borderlands movie with Cate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart, and Jack Black.
Let me tell you something, Davis. I was originally supposed to be in the Borderlands movie.
You could, I mean, might as well. We have the
that
second
movie was shot. What did I say? It was shot in 2019. That movie ain't coming out.
They probably started shooting and then the pandemic happened and then finished it up in 2021, 2022. But like I said, Eli Roth dipped. He split like I'm splitting.
They're gonna make Thanksgiving
and make a shit ton of money. We also have the second Kong Godzilla movie. I'm not excited for it.
No, that looks like trash, garbage.
It looks bunch of. I was almost gonna say something that would sound horrible, but I was gonna be like a bunch of monkeys.
I mean, that's what it was. Oh, is that coming out this year? The Planet of the Apes movie?
Yes, it is. I have it right. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes by Wes Ball, who. So Matt Reeves is dipped to go make Batman movies. So Wes Ball, who did all the Maze Runner movies, is now making this. And he was then announced right after this trailer was released. Wes Ball is going to do the Legend of Zelda movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which is still not, I think, reported as a live action or animated. So I can't actually remember.
It's going to be live action.
There's Beetlejuice 2, Tim Burton, Michael Keaton returning with Winona Ryder.
Coming out.
There are set photos. So yeah, because Jenna Ortega is working with Tim Burton again after the success of Wednesday. It's the same writers of Wednesday. So that's a movie I'm not looking forward to that. I'm just naming the other movies. Joker 2 with Lady Gaga.
Hell no.
I know. I'm just
I
saying.
know the incels need a new hero because MJF ain't it, but stop.
Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn is good casting, but I didn't see the first Joker, and I'm not going to see this one.
You don't have to. I saw the first one, and I was just like, yeah, I understand. Everybody needs a hero. Even these Cheetos smelling motherfuckers need one.
I might have to get Antonio on to talk about these two movies. Mean
Is
Girls.
White Women Involved?
Yeah, it's Mean Girls. Yeah. And Madam Web.
He'll talk about that right now.
So I got to reach out and see if our guy Antonio wants to come on and talk about the Mean Girls reboot, which is a musical of the 2004 movie, and then Madam Web.
I'm intrigued by one person in there.
In the Mean Girls movie or Madam Web?
Yeah. No, I don't know who's in the Madam Web movie, but the Mean Girls.
Dakota Johnson.
This man knows me well.
And my girl Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what to say about the Madam Web, and I won't be watching it.
Mike Epps is supposed to be in Madam Web, just like he's supposed to be.
That's hilarious.
Just like he's supposed to be in that Snoop Dogg movie about them teaching kids how to play football.
Hey, everybody does a job for friends, but certain jobs you don't need to do.
There's also, speaking of shitty Sony Spider-Man movies, Kraven the Hunter, which was supposed to come out last year, but then they pushed it because the actors and writers strike.
It needs
And
to die.
Aaron
When
Taylor
they showed
Johnson,
that trailer, I said they actually did it.
and the real takeaway was Russell Crowe. He'll do anything at this point. He's Sam Jackson. He's acting to act and get paid. Which I don't blame, because but Russell Crowe tries. That's the thing. He shows up and tries. He doesn't do the
as opposed to. Wait a minute. As opposed to Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson tries.
Oh, okay, I thought you were talking about Sam don't be trying.
No, I'm saying like when Sam Jackson takes all these roles, he still tries. In Kingsman, he was doing a lisp. He was talking like this because y'all sound so funny. Like,
bro,
it's like,
damn, was hilarious.
He showed up in his own clothes, like, but he was talking with a lisp. Like,
definitely his golf clothes. He came straight off the golf range.
What else? The Quiet Place prequel, which is Quiet Place Day One. This has Lupita Nyong'o is in this movie.
I don't care. Pressure, but I don't care. I hated those movies.
What?
I did not like those. I wasted time in the theaters.
I saw both of them in the theater too, but I like the first one. The second one's okay, but I like the first one a lot.
I don't care that Fantastic Four or Mr. Fantastic is out here trying to defend his family, and we got to be quiet.
John Krasinski wrote and directed the first two. He just wrote this one. He didn't direct the third one because he directed this movie called If, which is about imaginary friends. And if you watch the trailer, everyone in the comments is right that they're saying this movie is just Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, but with Ryan Reynolds. Like, go watch this trailer. It's like a girl who hangs out with imaginary friends, and they're all animated with like weird designs, and it's like trying to help the people who they once belonged to. And Steve Carell's the voice, Lou Gossett Jr. is the voice.
Lou Gossett in this?
Yep, it's got a bunch of famous people as voices. Matt Damon.
Oh well, babe, I'm watching this.
The Ghostbusters reboot sequel, which is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. This looked horrible. And I feel bad.
I was like, yo, they made another one when you told me that.
I didn't remember them announcing it, or maybe I did.
That's what I'm saying.
Or maybe I did.
No, I was just shocked because.
Well, no, I'm like, maybe they did because that first one made some money, and I think to be honest, they probably felt bad because, because Jason Reitman is not even directing this one like he directed that reboot because Ivan Reitman passed away. So yeah, I don't know why they made. I'm like, Paul Rudd, just say no, just
right. That's all you gotta do, bro. Every check ain't a good check.
Despicable Me 4. I still never saw Despicable Me 2 or 3. The Garfield movie, the Garfield animated movie with Chris Pratt as Garfield. That's a real thing.
But I'm not watching.
I thought you meant you like the one with Bill Murray as the voice of Garfield, because I used to watch that movie a lot as a kid.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know of those, but I've never seen it. I watched the cartoon when I was a kid.
All right. Mufasa, The Lion King, which is the animated prequel about Mufasa.
They did that before. It was like Lion King 2 and 3.
No, but I'm saying this is animated like how the 2019 Lion King was, with like the real animals. Yeah.
Wait, so this was the prequel for him?
It's the prequel to the 2019. So it's Mufasa as like a young man, a young lion, I should say. No New Japan relation.
What's the cast?
The cast is Aaron Pierre, Kelvin Harrison Jr. as Scar. That's good casting. But Timon and Pumbaa's voices, which are Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner, are returning. But you know who's directing this movie? Barry Jenkins of Moonlight fame. I remember when they announced this 3 years ago. But yeah, that's a paycheck. That's a paycheck movie.
Right. So he's not getting voiced by Darth Vader. I forgot the man's name.
Nope, not James Earl Jones. This is young Mufasa. And Night Shyamalan's going to have a new movie that no one knows about except Josh Hartnett's in it.
Go. No, except for him. He the only person. Josh Hartnett don't even know what the movie's about.
Yeah. And I think there's going to be and here's how we're going to end it, because I'm just looking up. all these other ones that we're not even going to waste our time on. But
yeah,
there is this movie called Red One. I talked about this when it was announced years ago on the show. Directed by Jake Kasdan, starring Dwayne Johnson. And this movie has Chris Evans, J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons, again, is playing Santa Claus in this movie. Remember, this is the action Christmas movie that Dwayne Johnson's former brother-in-law wrote, a.k.a. his business manager, Hiram Garcia.
Wait, what you mean his former brother-in-law?
It's Danny Garcia's brother, and he ain't married to her anymore. So this is his former
brother-in-law. Kind of.
Well, anyway, it's still his business manager, regardless. He's like, he keeps it all again. It's all bloodline. It's all bloodline. It's all family with this fucking guy.
No, because now you sound like him. He's just doing that for the people that ain't gonna tell him no that he's paying their bills.
The other co-writer is Chris Morgan, author of Tokyo Drift.
Here we go.
Fast and Furious, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7, Fate of the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, because he picked a side. He chose the Rock side over the Vin Diesel side.
As we guaranteed paycheck. But what did I say? Everybody owes Vin Diesel a paycheck because he keep taking his people.
And Jake Kasdan was the director of the 2 Jumanji movies that The Rock starred in. And this is an Amazon Prime movie. It might have a theatrical release because Amazon
they better not.
Might feel confident in it, but regardless,
don't do it.
This is a movie in which The Rock might be an elf, or might be like a thing where like they gotta save Christmas with action. It sounds ludicrous.
And people want to know why he's making A24 movies. Which is the hottest production company out right now.
Thanks for the segue. So this week, Benny Safdie, who announced that he and his brother Josh are no longer working together, which I don't know why it was music to your ears, because you've only seen one Safdie brothers movie, and that was Uncut Gems. And I know you hated it.
I want to see what y'all do by yourselves. Yeah, it was just like, hey, hot lines. That was it. It was good punchlines, bro. I used to listen to J.R. Ryder from Dipset, so I understand punchlines and bad songs.
But they made this movie called Good Time with Robert Pattinson. They did the Lenny Cook documentary, which came out years ago. They made a documentary about Lenny Cook because they love basketball that much.
I like Lenny Cook too, but okay.
But here's from the Variety article that Benny Safdie did this week. A week after our interview, Safdie announces his solo filmmaking debut, an A24 movie starring Dwayne Johnson as a mixed martial arts champion, Mark Kerr.
Titled, this big ass can't do no mixed martial arts.
Titled The Smashing Machine. On Christmas Eve, Johnson sends me a long voice memo detailing how the project came together. Let me tell you how the project came together. Right. I'm gonna
I'm in the iron paradise.
Here's what it says. I know you're pushing a deadline with this piece. Santa Claus is coming tonight, as you know, he says over the joyful noise of his young daughters.
This motherfucker's a con.
Cookie puss. Cookie works the crowd. That's all this guy does.
Hey, he worse than never mind.
According to Johnson, he and Safdie first aligned on the project in 2019 when Johnson's 7 Bucks Productions acquired the rights to Kerr's story. That's the thing people forget about this movie. They announced this movie in 2019 when he handed the bad motherfucker belt to Jorge Masvidal after he beat Nate Diaz. That was in November. They announced this movie. People forget. I don't forget. Right. Benny Safdie was not announced. It was just The Rock said, I'm going to make a movie about Mark Kerr and MMA, and it was supposed to be like with the UFC's blessing. But however, he did his Rock thing that, well, if UFC would have been as big as it was in the 90s, I would have done it instead of wrestling. No, you wouldn't have. You would have gotten your ass kicked. You can't fight for real.
I don't want to find out, but yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. I ain't trying to find out. But the fact that he's about to do this now, like, dog, you're 260.
What story in wrestling history has ever made you think he can fight for real?
When the nation kicked him out?
No, the only time he's come close to showing any toughness was the John Cena. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? As I always bring up, that's the only time he showed, like, I'm going to get aggressive. Otherwise, every story is him being a crybaby, or like, it comes as it goes. Like him being Hollywood. He's not a tough guy. So for him, and it was the same thing with Mark Calloway, to be like, yeah, I would have done MMA back in the day if I knew it was going to be like this. You were 6'10", motherfucker. What were you going to do?
But that's what I'm saying too.
A guy would kick you in your legs, which is why you stopped playing basketball, and you would have fell to the ground like, ah.
But the thing is, first of all, Jorge got
going to do MMA because he hated getting punched in the face.
And he had to drop weight. You can't be 260.
No, heavyweights don't have the limit. So he could weight as much as he wanted at the heavyweight level. No,
they had him drop like 10 pounds, though. I swear they had him drop like 10 pounds.
He probably dropped weight in terms, I mean, he was shedding off the steroid weight, but that's a whole other thing.
I ain't saying nothing about steroids. But also, too, Jorge got a movie coming out. He got a biopic coming out.
Jorge Masvidal
is playing. Yeah.
To be honest, even though it's problematic casting, that's not bad casting.
Yeah, I think it's already done, actually.
He just said he wanted to go join the church, Shia LaBeouf. Did you see that?
What type of church?
I can't remember if it was the Catholic Church or another church.
Oh, you better off just join the enemy if you're going to become Catholic.
Yeah, but all right, let me get back to this article. According to, as well as a handwritten letter. Oh, no, hang on. Yeah. A token of his enthusiasm, Safdie sent The Rock a Nautica sweatshirt that the UFC champion wore in the 2002 document. So he sent him...
Ain't no damn Nautica sweatshirt for that big bastard.
No, it was Mark Kerr's sweatshirt. Like, he sent him another man's worn sweatshirt. That's what I'm saying. That's only because there was this is based off a documentary. Again, it's why I don't want to see the Iron Claw. It's not because I saw Dark Side of the Ring. I didn't see Dark Side of the Ring. I know fucking wrestling history. I don't have to have it retold to me every fucking year like some idiots.
Well, the thing is about us, yes, we know history. We know wrestling like back our
I'm saying if you don't know wrestling, go watch this movie.
Watch it even if you know wrestling for the entertainment value. All right, so you know what podcast I'm about to plug, right? He said the same thing as you. A wrestler said the same thing as you. He hated it.
Rene Dupree?
Yeah, he said he hated the movie. He despised it. He said it was not good. Then his co-host tried to say, "You always being negative about stuff." He said, "Bruh, I've been doing this."
Oh my god, am I Rene Dupree?
He's like, "Bruh, I've been in the business for 25 years."
Am I gonna do the
Prince Tickler? Yeah.
I'm a French guy, as Taz would say.
Like, bro, so he said, I've been in the business for years. Like, they had Paul London talk about the movie. He was like,
okay, well, you can't talk to Paul London about anything. That's the
Yeah, he said he didn't like it either. Because you talking to dudes that have been around the business for years and they know the story. But for somebody like me, I'm like, all right, I know the story all too well. The woman that's in here know the story more than us because she's from the city. But I'm saying I just want to see the acting that was involved. That's it. Otherwise, not the story.
No, that's
you should know it.
See this movie as a movie. Don't see this as a wrestling fan.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But every wrestling fan is going to go see this movie like, oh, they did so well. Like, even though they're like, but they didn't acknowledge this or that. Like, well, no shit, because
it's not a wrestling movie. Yeah. That's not even the basis of it. It's wrestling involved because that was the business that they were in, but it's not about wrestling business.
I remember when they announced this, and my initial thinking was like, someone in Hollywood said, do you know how crazy of a story this is? This should be a movie. Like, and that's why it got made. And that's the same thing.
Eddie Guerrero movie is going to piss me off, dude.
Well, that's why it's like,
I'm not watching that.
Well, like that's why every single time one thing does somewhat success, even though this isn't making any fucking money at all. Right. It's winning over the internet, which is modern day currency, which it's got Jeremy Allen White, Zac Efron, Harris Dickinson at the photo shoots, at the red carpet. You know, these Hollywood hunks of the future, or the present day, I should say, are, you know, doing their job of saying like it's hard to be a wrestler, how physical it is to be in shape and to, you know, and to still act at the same time.
Oh, it's called steroids.
Well, I mean, Zac Efron famously said his workout regimen for Baywatch was the worst thing he's ever done in his life. And I'm like, bro, if I wish I could look like that. Like,
and you see how he look in this, like nobody fat ripped.
It was the same thing for Baywatch, and it's the same thing for Baywatch. And he said, like, after doing Baywatch, I never wanted to go through that ever again. Like draining your body of fluids to look that like lean and vascular, like you're so dehydrated. He's like, I trained wrong for that movie. Because I read his Men's Health, or was it Muscle and Fitness article last year when he had a movie coming out. Because that's when they asked him about his jaw, and he's like, of course my jaw is going to look weird. I had to have it fixed. I broke my jaw and I had to have it fixed. I'm like, he still looks the same. Well, don't forget, they said it broke because he slipped and fell, and it was maybe cocaine related or not. It was a whole big thing. But,
y'all ever see The Great Barry Bonds?
Don't do that right now. So the life and times of extreme fighter Mark Kerr, as well as a handwritten letter telling Johnson that what he sees in him is an actor. So this is Benny Safdie telling Dwayne Johnson, you're more than just an action star. You're an actor. Like, watch this man on Ballers. That's when he tries to act. But who's he acting as? The man he wishes he was. He wishes he was an ex-football player controlling modern-day football players' salaries.
He tried to act in a movie with Ghost.
Oh my god.
He tried to act in that movie with Exhibit. Exhibit did a better job than him.
Yeah, Gridiron. But that's early Rock. That's when he was still trying. That's the thing, like, he was trying and be cool. He was trying and get smart. He was trying in these, like, he's really good and get smart. His best role is the other guys, and it's 5 minutes. And it's because he's so over the top, and like he has to embrace stuff like that, like making fun of the tropes instead of being the trope.
Yeah, Get Smart is one of my favorite movies ever.
Get Smart is like one of my favorite, like, solid comedies.
Let's get some Roscoe's.
But then the pandemic put everything on hold, and soon Safdie and Johnson were pulled into a slew of other commitments. The two fell out of touch, but Johnson says he still thought about the Smashing Machine every day. Really? Then why did you call Universal and say, put me back in Fast and the Furious if that's what you thought about every day?
Right.
The two fell out. Yeah, Johnson says he still thought about the Smashing Machine. One night, years later, he was on the phone with his close friend and Jungle Cruise co-star Emily Blunt, catching up about their careers and their dream projects. While Blunt was off shooting Oppenheimer, Johnson sent Blunt the Kerr documentary and told her that playing the fighter in a feature film is the thing that really speaks to me, that I want to sink my teeth into. Blunt watched the doc, as Johnson remembers, called him back immediately, insisting, you must make this movie.
He lying. She don't want to see that. She's British. They don't have fun.
Unbeknownst to me, Christopher Nolan had cast Benny as one of the scientists in Oppenheimer. Famously, Benny Safdie plays the guy who creates the hydrogen bomb in Oppenheimer. Remember, the guy's like, water bomb would be better. Water bomb. That's Benny Safdie. The guy who screws him over at the end, and the wife doesn't give him the handshake.
I just see the movie, goddammit.
No, I'm saying people who like don't remember, because Benny Safdie's the one who acts. Josh Safdie's the one who
did. The Rock want to play that role?
That would have been hilarious. Because don't forget, they were saying everyone was going to be an Oppenheimer that was white, and then they cast one person of color, and it was Rami Malek.
Yeah.
For 2 minutes of screen time.
The Egyptian man.
Imagine The Rock being the Egyptian man in Oppenheimer.
Because people don't know, Mr. Robot is Egyptian, which means he's African.
Johnson says in the voice memo, when Blunt went to set the next day, Johnson's name came up in a conversation between her and Safdie. So, in what The Rock calls the convergence of kismet and irony, Blunt reconnected Safdie with Johnson, who says he never received the gift. Benny thought I ghosted him, and maybe I was just a fucking asshole. Maybe! Oh, brother, you are. As we all saw Monday night, you are.
Yeah. Again, cookie puss.
Johnson says, I felt so bad. Now Johnson uses the Polynesian word mana.
Here we go. That's the only word he knows.
To describe the creative trusting force that binds him with Safdie. I wonder what Roman Reigns uses for the same thing, huh? Benny wants to create and continue to push the envelope when it comes to stories that are raw and real, characters that are authentic and at times uncomfortable, and arresting. Johnson says, I'm at a point in my career where I want to push myself in ways that I have not pushed myself in the past. I'm at a point in my career where I want to make films that matter, that explore humanity and explore struggle and pain. As the film will confront Kerr's triumphs in the ring as well as his addiction to painkillers, A24 is announcing the movie is already touting The Smashing Machine as The Rock's most dramatic project and role yet, says Johnson. I want to be clear that this is not a big abandonment of big 4-quadrant movies. He's saying, I'm still going to make the shitty movies I've been making.
Get paid. Yeah.
All right. I need money in the pocket because I need money in the pocket because I ain't going back and doing wrestling.
$7. Yeah. That's why everybody that's up here talking about WrestleMania, no. It's going to happen in Elimination Chamber because he got other stuff to do.
It's not happening at all. I'm going to say it right now. He's not going to have any fucking matches. I'll say that today, right now. He's not having any matches.
I'll remember that. I don't care. Running back to I don't care if it ever happens. I didn't want it to begin with.
I love making them, and there are tremendous value and importance in them. Until the streamers buy them, so you don't have to see the box office receipts.
Right.
But there's a time and place for them. The time and place. You just went back to Fast and Furious. What does that say?
Right. And then again, people forgot that this movie got to come out. The House movie got to come out.
No, that movie's not coming out.
You don't think that's coming? I think that's coming out before he wrestles.
That's a PR move.
I think that's coming out before he wrestles.
All right. There's a reason I call this man the fraud. And he's a bigger fraud in movie making than in wrestling. And that's why him coming back to wrestling, and I get so mad at y'all. I was like, this man doesn't think who he is in Hollywood. Like, he's not Tom Cruise in Hollywood. Like, anytime people are like, he's one of Hollywood's biggest stars, check the receipts. Again, he's transitioned to streaming. And it's funny that the Cat Williams thing came out this week when what he said about Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart has been stuck at Netflix. He doesn't go anywhere else. Again, we just brought up Borderlands, which he's supposed to be in. Like you said, that movie's been in the works for how long? Hobbs and Shaw came out in what year? And he's now going to do a solo Hobbs. We've had 2 Fast and Furious movies in between Hobbs and Shaw and this potential Hobbs movie. Maybe even Fast 11 will come out before Hobbs does. But that's the thing. And this Red One movie that I just brought up, like, that's been the other thing he's doing. But he's not coming back to wrestling because it's a real break glass in case of emergency. But he's not desperate. It's just like he knocks on the glass, it doesn't break.
Right.
And Hollywood sees something in him, but they know, like, this, it's not going to add up. Again, like, they have them in this day and age where the numbers do matter for receipts. Again, like, Tom Cruise announced all those projects after Top Gun Maverick. He was going to do a musical. He was going to do a comedy. He was going to do a dramatic role, and they're all have Chris McQuarrie attached. Who knows the state of those projects now that Dead Reckoning didn't make the money they thought it would make? It's like I said, the 8th one's still coming out. They're guaranteed to make that movie because Paramount still needs it, even if it's going to make 400 compared to the 800 they expected. But are they going to be on board for the other Tom Cruise movies? Are they going to be on board for that SpaceX movie he's supposed to make? Are they going to be on board for whatever crazy action movie he has next? When the UFL is a joke. Let's not even get started on that. The UFL is a joke. He's gonna. What did he say on Sunday Football? Oh, if I could have been on the gridiron with you guys playing like you guys did, it would have meant the world to me. And football means the world to me. This league's full of 54 men because the 54th man's the first guy.
I barely talk about football too.
Ask him about a fucking 3-4. You're gonna be like, yeah, when the offense gets in the 3-4, you really gotta.
He probably said he ran a 4 flat during the combine.
Yeah, with a broken knee.
Yeah, I ran Warren Sapp. No shit, my grandmother could.
I'm at the point now where I want more. I don't mean I want more box office. That's what you should want.
Yeah,
that's what you do need.
But he has his guarantee too. So
no, his guarantees are on these streamers who don't care.
No, his flat rate is what I should say. It's
that's
flat
rate. But also the streamers are like, it's going to get a big budget, but it's not going to see a big budget in return. Like Amazon did the same thing with the Air movie. Like they paid 100 million for a movie that looks like it shouldn't cost 100 million, but it's Viola Davis, Oscar winner, Matt Damon, big movie star, Ben Affleck, big movie star. That's probably 30 to 40 million right there between three people.
Yeah.
And then 60 to make the rest of the movie. I mean, if that, because they shot it in Los Angeles too. And
$2 from Marlon Wayans and Bad Jokes.
And Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman probably got 5 to 10 million. I think he's an Emmy winner.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris Tucker and Marlon Wayans, they didn't get paid what they should have.
No.
Marlon Wayans being in that movie is still a big, like, oh yeah, he's in this. And not in a negative way, but I'm like, oh, Marlon Wayans is here. Like,
yeah.
And this is why Benny Safdie is the perfect collaborative, hungry partner for me. And that's the end of that part. So as much as y'all, again, he came back to wrestling to promote this. To this. That's all it is. It's all watch this hand, don't watch the other hand, which is what I always
because he can't sit still. He's been having to sit down his longest time ever. He's had to sit down because of the writer strike. Now that's over, and the actor strike. It's like, all right, stuff hasn't started yet for me. What I'm gonna go do?
And what did that mean? Again, he didn't come back and do week to week TV like John Cena did. And this is the man that you keep expecting to come back when one guy continues to come back when he shouldn't. And granted, John Cena isn't successful in Hollywood yet. He had a number of bombs this past year. Fast X was bad. Vacation Friends 2 is probably the second worst movie I watched last year.
I gotta watch that. Yeah.
He had the one movie which I think officially has a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that movie where they're trapped in the jungle with Alison Brie, which I don't blame him for trying to make that movie. But let me just, I forget what the title is because I still want to see it just to see it.
Same. We might have to watch it.
He was a voice in Mutant Mayhem, and I did like that movie. Oh yeah, Freelance. He was Freelance, which officially, let me double check the Rotten Tomatoes on that.
Because they didn't even advertise it at all.
That's what I told. That's what I just said 2 hours ago. Is that when you don't see anything about the movie until a month before it's released, it's not a good movie.
I still haven't seen the trailer for that movie.
Yeah, it's 6% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's not the end all be all, but it just
the first one is a classic.
Vacation Friends is no, they're both horrendous. No,
no, that first one's great. Stop it.
No, they're both horrible. Like
we talked about that. That movie is great, yo.
No, he's good in it because he plays a wacky.
Everybody
crazy
did a good job.
No. Get that. You know, all right. You trying to be the first man to get with a lawn orgy, so don't even. Okay.
Okay.
but again, people, listen. Look at this man. Listen to him when he talks. He's a born liar. He's a wrestler. That's all he does.
People still haven't learned from the Ric Flair and the Hulk Hogan interviews. Bro, they working you. This is any
wrestler interview. Listen to Edge on the Edge and Christian podcast when he said, I can't wait. No, because he said, I wish I was healthy to get in the ring and work with that young talent. What the hell is that?
How you know my name?
Yeah, this is hey, we should really end the show right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I ain't saying nothing about no island, bro. I was talking about the island, Dr. Moreau.
Yeah,
no, it's coming from Twitch. That's why.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense though.
Do
you have Twitch? Yeah,
it's on Twitch. We on Twitch as well. We're live, pal. We're on Twitch as well.
But that's still, I don't know. This is freaking me. Now I'm thrown off.
No, at first I was like, hold on, if that was from YouTube, it'd be like, all right, I get it from Twitch.
No, I see the Twitch logo, but I'm just like, wait a second. They got bots on Twitch too,
bro. They got bots everywhere. I just told you about the AI I saw earlier, not Allen Iverson. I thought the dude was actually talking. He wasn't. We're in the end game. What he said in Terminator Salvation, my crew.
I never watched that one.
All right, y'all. It was a good show.
I know what he said on the set. Good for you when he yelled at the guy.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's known for. So
yeah, I know that line. Good for you. Do I come to your job?
That's what made the movie like that. Probably drew the money for that movie. Was that shoe promo?
Yeah, but I still never seen it.
Great movie.
Again, I don't subscribe to Sam Worthington.
It's a good movie.
But we got to wrap it up anyway. So yeah, I mean, I don't think he's coming back to wrestle. And I'll say,
if he don't, that'd be hilarious. All the marks gonna be upset.
And I think there's a 20% chance this movie doesn't get made.
I think it gets made.
And again, when he moves his arms like this and he's talking like this, and that's what he tries to do with people on the internet, with Instagram, with Twitter. Again, going to the NFL, going to all these things, and he's putting these tweets out, being like, "It was so great to come back Monday night. Speak to the crowd. Speak to you deserve it, and I know you deserve it." And it's like,
but he's slick though. I'll say this.
Yeah,
you can't trick me. I'm familiar with your move.
But
not what David's talking about. When he quote tweeted Samantha Irvin, I said, "You can't trick me."
Okay, if you want to take it to that part, then I mean, yeah.
I know that move. I said, no, hey, I seen that turnaround.
I mean, one of the first things he did in the one-offs was when he interacted. He interacted with Lana and his rare one-offs, because what was he doing? Remember he did the like.
But the thing with Samantha Irvin, he's slick because that was his first tweet when he came back. Then he started going with the other tweets like, "Yeah, it was so happy to be there on day one."
Yeah, to cover it up. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah.
His first, I'll screenshot it and show it here. His first tweet was.
I saw a woman. Someone retweeted a woman like with a lot of ass, like in a bathing suit. And I'm like, who is this? Hey, no. Okay. And I'm like, who is this woman? I'm trying to see if she was like a musician or something. And she was a podcaster, but John Cena was following her, and I'm just like, of course he is. He knows. He's like,
nah. Hey, me and John Cena got to run the fade.
He's got Cerebro. He puts it on and just finds them. Like, send me the bad women. Like,
we got to run a fade because he following Gina Views, bro.
But
I know you don't know who that is, but I said, all right, now you caught. How
you know back on I'm like, damn, this woman's fine. And I'm like, let me see. And it was a couple people I was like, oh, I didn't like. You are some family men following this woman, but John Cena. Let me see if I can. But John Cena definitely just goes like, puts it on.
Like, bro, I told you that. I was like, you can't trick me. I'm familiar with.
That's the AI I want. I want John Cena with Cerebro. Give me that AI.
Hold on, bro, because I swear he was following Gina Views, bro. Because I was like, hold on, how you know who that is, bro? Let me see. It was somebody else. Oh no, I knew the jig was up too when he was following. Okay, so he following this great British woman that does podcasts.
But that makes sense because he's been in London for the last 4 years.
Okay, that's who it was. I thought it was Gina Views. My fault. But shouts out to her. Pressure. But nah, still he following this great British woman that I'm a fan of, not just for her work. He following her. Yeah, this is a good way to end the podcast because he be slick. Oh, is he following her? Yep. There's another woman. I'm about to send you the ad right now. He following her.
When we say we want to talk to John Cena, we want to ask him these questions. We also do want to ask the wrestling questions because I do want to ask like the great promos he cut. But I do want you and I also want to ask him these real questions too.
He gonna no sell it.
Oh, it's gonna be Sky Blue versus Kiera Hogan tonight.
Hey man, it was good talking to y'all.
Where can they follow here you? I come.
No, he not wrong because I would have definitely run the fade. I'll be like, Cena who? But still, hey, on that note, the game is on right now, Steelers versus Ravens, but the real game happens later on with me by myself. Man says Sky Blue versus Kiera Hogan. That's all I need to hear, bro.
That's all you had to say. Shit.
That's all you had to say. You could have just said either or. You could have said Sky Blue or Kiera Hogan, but both of them. Hey, Tony, you ain't slick either. I see your move. I'm familiar with your game. And this is the second week, bro.
I want to shake your hand.
I want to shake your hand. Shake your hand. This is second week. He done put pressure versus pressure. And then he doing it again? Yeah. Because remember the Sky Blue versus Queen. What's her name? Amina.
Queen. It was no, it was Mariah May, Queen Aminata on Wednesday.
See, no, last week for
I know, but you don't think Mariah May and Queen Amanada is the same thing?
No,
because we had Willow and Chris Statlander 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and they was on Rampage together, bro. Hey, Chris, I don't know what's going on, but I told people they called me a madman in 2021. I told them then I'm a scout, bro.
Now you were saying that back then. I was like, yeah, I see it.
But now everybody talking about, oh, we see the view.
I forget. That's why go watch She's the Man. It's on Netflix. When the guy who was the Black Power Ranger on SPD, I forget his name in real life, but he's like, something Brandon J. McLaren, something like that.
It is like McCullen or something like that. I know.
Yeah, because he was on but he has a great line because he likes the nerdy girl with glasses, and the one guy he's friends is like, she looks kind of cute. He's like, how come when I said that y'all laughed at me, but now it wasn't she is? I hate high school. Like,
I told him about Chris, bro. I told him in 2021, ask Davis again, ask Keith, bro. I said it then. They called me a madman. Then she had that whole outfit on yesterday. Yeah, her and Willow, bro. It'd be like the episode with En Vogue and Marlon Wayans on the Wayans Brothers. Can we get a picture? He's trying to tuck his new security picture.
Chad, where my hug at? Where my hug? Come on.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely. Yeah, no.
I know you. Again, you act. I haven't seen you in person.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. All right, we're out. Peace.
Nobody's ever seen me do anything in person. I might be AI. Iverson.
No, you got a number within 5 minutes, so I was impressed by that.
Bomb. He's snitching.